What a wonderful way to start our sunset drive, watching these Cape buffalo moving through the grass, and on such a wonderful afternoon weather-wise here on Juma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands, South Africa. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Cedric Dauld, and behind the camera with me this afternoon, we have got Johan on Rusty this afternoon. But what a way to start! Our sunset drive with these Cape buffaloes, looking moving quite heavily in a northerly direction. I wonder if they're not trying to get to a certain watering hole, because they're definitely not stopping and grazing. But this afternoon, we are, of course, on Wendy. We have got Tess and BK. Pridelands, we've got Chris and Paul. Down in the Eastern Cape, Lauren and Davy. And, of course, on the Dam Cam, we've got Ralph. So, yes, thank you for joining us, and a very good afternoon to everybody. And as you can see, we are live and we are interactive this afternoon. So if you've got any questions, comments, suggestions, or any stories that you do want to send through to us, please go onto our website. That is WildEarth.tv. Go onto our questions page. Make sure that you do register with us. The registration is for free. And if you're not, or if you don't want to go onto the website, you're more than welcome. There is going to be a QR code. It's a little white box that's pretty much displayed at the bottom of the screen, a little bit of black squiggles in it. Just grab your cell phone and open the camera and just frame up that QR code, that white box, and then just scan it, and it'll take you directly to the questions page on our website. And then, of course, you just send any questions or comments for us this afternoon and keep us all entertained, and hopefully we can keep you entertained and give you as much excitement as possible. Maggie, yes, definitely. What a way to start the sunset drive, having these beautiful Cape buffalo on a mission going north, and definitely going to be sticking with them for a little bit to see where they're going to end up. I'm trying to think which watering hole they're going to. The way they are heading, they might end up at Baobab Dam, because they are heading towards Buffelshoek cut line. So yes, I think that's it. But talking about a dam, as you know, this weekend, the 9th and the 10th of July, it is Waterhole weekend. So please join us for the Waterhole weekend. And we are going to be going from Waterhole to Waterhole, dam to dam, pan to pan, and seeing what's going to be around at those water areas. So that is for the 9th and the 10th of July. That's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So yes, grab some snacks, grab a hat, grab a nice gin and tonic, or a nice big milkshake, or whatever you prefer to drink. And yes, hopefully we can show you some exciting things around the Waterhole this weekend. But as I see, this herd of buffaloes are already moved away, so we're going to try and go up further on Gallagher Shortcut. But while we do that, let's see what the weather is like around here today.
Good day and welcome to the afternoon Waterhole Watch. We're coming to you live from the Juma Dam Cam in the Sabi Sands Private Game Reserve in the Greater Kruger National Park of South Africa. My name is Ralph Kirsten, and on the Dam Cam cameras will be me too. And please don't forget to send us your questions and your comments using the link wildearth.tv/questions. And also, you can use the QR code at the bottom of your screen when that shows up. And get involved in the largest game drive in the world. Now, we're just scanning around here on the Juma Dam Cam, having a look what might be coming down for just after midday's drink. There's a couple of hippos in the pond. It's our local called Dewey. But we also had the buffalo herd here this morning. It was a very big herd indeed. So they came through, had a drink exactly in that area that I'm focusing on now. But yesterday evening, we had suspicions that we saw Mulwati, the very shy leopard, in that area there in the background. Now, maybe we'll get to see him later this evening. If we are lucky, he's not habituated to the vehicles, so the best chance we have, I would say, is seeing him on the dam cam. So we always look at the positives, and that's one of the positives of sitting stationary with the dam camera at the waterholes.
The Maasai Mara in Kenya, a remote landscape where wilderness reigns. Its inspirational beauty captivates the hearts of many around the world. This year, from August, WildEarth is leading a number of unique expeditions to follow Africa's greatest wildebeest migration here in the Maasai Mara. And now, the remaining places have been discounted by 20%. Head over to our website to find out.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited safari guide training with courses tailored for the African safari lodge industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
Okay, so this is the Juma dam cam. I'm going to head us on over to Botswana at the Mashatu dam cam. So hold on, let's head on over there. On the Mashatu dam cam currently, we do have a giraffe that has just come down for a drink. So let me zoom in on him if I can. So this is coming to you live as well from Mashatu Game Reserve, right on the border with South Africa and Zimbabwe. And a wonderful game reserve it is indeed. My zoom not going there. Okay, hang on, we'll work with it. I'll just pan around a little bit if I can. Michael, yes, absolutely. It's probably hit about 25 degrees Celsius here on a lovely winter's day in Botswana. There's not much wind to speak of, a little bit coming in from the west, but it's not going to be cold at all. There's not a cloud in the sky, so there won't be any rain, that's for sure. As this giraffe just coming down for a midday's drink. There were a lot of impala here earlier, as you see the red-billed quailias whooshing past as well. Having a long old drink is that giraffe. It's thirsty work out here in the semi-arid environment. Righty, so that's just a little taster of what we've got in store for you. The Mashatu dam cam, as well as the Juma dam cam, and maybe some surprises a little later. But, well, I want to head you on back to South Africa, and Tessa would like to say hello.
Good afternoon, everybody. It seems like we are off to a cracking start. Cedric with his buffaloes, Ralph, of course, panning and scanning, and us with an elephant. Now, it's quite a far view and south of Gowrie, Main, so into Little Gowrie, but any view of an elephant is better than no view of an elephant, even if it's a bum and some ears flapping as they walk away. My name is Tessa. I'm going to be your guide on safari here for the day. Behind the camera is BK, whoop, whoop, and we have decided to start the afternoon in the best way possible. We're going to go to Twin Dams, we're going to go to the Hyena Den, and we're going to look for more elephants because they're amazing. So I'm wearing the lucky hat, as usual. And so, unfortunately, my elephant has moved, but we're going to look for some more. We'll see what happens, and hopefully we find some towards Twin Dams. I did hear some trumpeting.
It's time to put your feet up after a long week. WildEarth invites you to unwind with a weekend at the Waterhole, our life source of the bush, home to so much joy and danger. Join us on the 9th and 10th of July to get your wildlife refill broadcasted to you live all weekend at the Waterhole.
WildEarth's weekend at the Waterhole is going to be epic, and we want to make sure that you are kitted out for the occasion. We've launched some wonderful merchandise just for you. Are you a dam cam lover? Find these and more on our website. So get your snacks ready, put your feet up, and join us for a weekend at the Waterhole.
So hopefully I have some better luck with elephants that are more keen to stick around for an extra 2 minutes further on in the afternoon. For now, though, I shall just enjoy the pleasures of driving in the bus down towards Twin Dams. And we are going to have the best time looking for those hyenas, because I haven't had luck yet, so we're going to try. But it sounds like Ralph is having an amazing time at Mashatu, so while I make my way towards Twin Dams and, of course, the Juma Club, I will send you over to him to see what he's panning and scanning for.
Well, there unfortunately goes our giraffe. He had a little drink and then something spooked him, and now he's decided it's not worth it, or he's had enough and he's out of here. You can hear all the oxpeckers that were on his back. Just going around the corner there. So I'm going to zoom out and let's see if there's any other animals that we may spot around the pan. Sure, there'll be some impala on the other side. Oh yes, there they are. They're also coming down now. Ashi, I must agree with you. This waterhole is never quiet. I mean, it's just amazing how the ambient noise is incredible. The birds are forever coming in and out, especially these red-billed quailias, and the guinea fowl in the morning, and then the doves, and the odd fly. And now the impala coming in to drink. They've also been making quite a lot of noise themselves, with the rutting season well underway. I always find it very amusing when the impala are rutting, because they try and sort of confuse the other males and distract them with an alarm call. And so all their heads go up and looking in different directions. And as they do that, the male that gave that signal runs in to charge. Right, so lovely start to the Waterhole watch. We've got a couple of animals that were coming in, and they're looking left, right, and center. Okay, back to Cedric, who sounds like he's doing the same.
Yes, definitely scanning and panning around here with these buffalo. Still sitting with these beautiful Cape buffalo, still moving up in a northerly direction towards Buffelshoek cutline. And they're very much now at this point in time quite spread out and grazing on all the nice green grasses around on this area. But yeah, they were, when we found them earlier, they were all settled down, really close-knit. They kind of, when they lie down, they really lie in like a bunch, like close to each other, and to protect the young ones and older ones in the center. But now, of course, they're all really spread out and are just enjoying a good old feed. But heading north, as you can see, we're still having a little bit, not having the greatest of visual on those ones. I think there might be better ones at the back, but let's see. But think might be better ones at the back here. And it's actually very difficult for Jan. No, it's fine, don't worry, Jan. It's a little bit tough there for you to turn. Can you get it there?
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
So it's the weekend, and what better way to spend a day than sat near one of these wonderful waterholes?
So get yourself some snacks and a hat and come and join us for the weekend at Waterhole.
So for the days the 9th and the 10th of July, our teams here at WildEarth from across Southern Africa are going to be spending quality time at a number of waterholes.
We will see you there.
See you there.
As you know, the buffaloes, they really help each other with protection. So especially with the lions do, of course, that's their main predator for the buffalo is the lion. And if lions do bring down one of the members here in these herds, many a time, if it's bleating like that and bellowing and distress call, you'll find that the rest will actually turn around and come in and investigate on what's happening. And if they do locate that lion on one of their members, they would definitely act as a group, especially the older males or the big males and the old females. Almost like build a wall, and then they'll try and push those lions off that individual that's been taken down. So they really do assist each other. That's very important for them that in these big herds. It's just typical safety in numbers. So, of course, the more members there are, the better chances of survival. That's why wintertime you'll find that buffalo herds usually amalgamate in wintertime because they start losing body condition, especially that the grass deteriorates and starts dying off. So they lose a lot of body condition, so they rather want to amalgamate certain herds, make the herds a little bit bigger, so if they've got a better chance of defense. And now, while we're going to continue up towards Buffelshoek-Cutline, let's head over to Chris in Pridelands. And I think him and Paul wants to say good afternoon to everybody.
All right, so this afternoon, nice and warm. Always a good idea to start off at a dam. That's exactly what I'm doing. Trying to find a starting point somewhere to see if there's anything that we can perhaps track. This stage, definitely some signs of elephants here. So we'll check where they have gone. That's perhaps something we can look at. My name is Chris, Mpo on Cam-Ops, and we're at Leopard Dam at the moment. And it's unusual for this time of the year for Leopard Dam to have so much water apparently. And that was due to that late that we had in May. Not much happening other than just one or two of the usual birds around. We're looking for something bigger. We did a bit of a drive around the koppies before we got live, just to see if we can't see anything on that leopardess. Nothing yet. So I think we'll set out, maybe try and find some elephants or perhaps some buffalo. And we'll hopefully get to track them on foot. Right, back to the tracks. Definitely relatively fresh tracks of elephants during the day. So what we're going to do now, we're going to start fanning out in a circular motion, spiraling further and further away from the dam until we can find something to track.
We want to make it even easier for you to interact with our guides whilst watching WildEarth. When you see a QR code like this pop up on your screen, then open your phone camera, point it at the code, and you will be taken directly to our question page. Simple as that. Then you can let us know what you want to see, ask questions, and much more.
I've had it before where I've been walking and a waterbuck's jumped out of the grass. It's quite a frightening experience.
WildEarth, it's in your nature.
There's also a couple of baboons. Oh. Hi, Michelle says, if anybody can do it, it's Catman Chris. Because I've earned myself a label there that's going to be difficult to live up to. Eh? Just going to take how cute this is. Look at this. It's a baboon print, but this is a younger baboon, perhaps a young female. Oh, look at this big guy. Like, that's the big guy. I always say he's wearing a size 9 shoe, this guy. Very big baboon. Well, from a young baboon to Tessa, who's also got a young one of her own there.
Oh, I just love days where we get to see baby animals. So we had a brief view of Loki and Kira, but they have disappeared around the back, and there is actually another adult at the back of the den as well. But here we have, it looks like Miss Ndebele lying in the entrance to the den, and I'm hoping that her little ones are going to make an appearance soon. Now remember, the last time I saw them, they were very, very young. They were born on the 27th of May, and I left here on the 9th of June. So they were literally a week and a bit old the last time I saw Ndebele's cubs. So I'm very excited to see them. Of course, I was watching a little bit while I was away to catch up with all the cubs, especially in Hyena Hullabaloo week. But I can't wait to see all the little ones in person. Now, it is quite warm, so the other cubs were in the shade at the back, but unfortunately there's no view of them because they've laid down in the long grass. So we're going to have to play a little bit of a patience game and see if they come out. I didn't see if Koa was with Loki and Kira, but I'd like to see how big she's gotten. It seems very odd, but so far it looks like only Mbilo and Koa might be female. Mbilo's definitely female, Heart's daughter. But Corky's little one, we think is female. As far as we know, it looks definitely like a female. But we could have a Swazi incident. And it looks like my Singita might be male. Justin, you're 11 years old. Yes, the habits of hyenas are mostly nocturnal. The cubs, however, are more active during the day, and that's purely because it's safer. So it's probably not as obvious while we're sitting at the den, because we spend time at the den during the day and we see lots of activity, but it's purely because it's a den site. Normal hyena activity, especially adult hyenas, will be nocturnal. So they'll come out at night to go and feed or scavenge or hunt, whatever they're trying to do, and then they come back and rest during the day. They don't necessarily come back to a den site unless they have to. But the cubs, if they were out at night, wouldn't make sense, because there's things like leopards and lions and even competing hyenas that might be around during the night, because they're all nocturnal. And so when you've got so many big predators that are nocturnal, it doesn't make sense for the cubs to be out at night. It's not very safe. So the cubs in particular, and the mothers, we will see them here during the day. So it's actually a very beautiful insight into hyena life, being able to sit at a hyena den and study them, because normally during the day hyenas aren't as active and you don't really get to see these moments with cubs very often. So the Juma clan is a very special clan indeed. The fact that we get to grow with them is a really, really special thing, and it's something that every guide I've spoken to really appreciates. One of the top things we appreciate about Juma in particular.
I still can't believe the amount of oxpeckers on this poor hippopotamus. It's almost more oxpecker than skin at the moment. they do seem to be retreating now it's heading into the water. Maybe that's what you should have done first there. Wow, they really are. That's an effective method there. Hippopotamus, well done. And oh, they go.
So I have been keeping a lookout behind us because further back was where we saw the other cubs from. Not from this entrance, but from the 2-truck itself, just a little bit further around the bend. So I've been watching because I know the cubs are very curious, and I've heard from Cedric and various of the other guides that have been here recently that particularly Loki and Kira have become, oh, there we go, become very curious. Ah, and there's Koa. Hello, sweetheart. That's amazing. So they become very curious and a lot braver. Normally it used to be Ribbons boys and Hearts girl that used to come up to the vehicles, and now it seems like Intimus 2 are the troublemakers of the clan. So, very naughty little faces coming up. Oh, a little bit of a bonding moment here for the cubs. So it is getting more active. This means I'm going to be spending a bit more time catching up with the fur babies since I haven't seen them in so long. But I know somebody that is very keen to spend time with the hyenas is ready to say good afternoon. So I'm going to send you over to Lauren at Amakhala to say hi.
I absolutely would love to be back at the Juma Misikaya, that's for sure. Miss it terribly, but I have to say I am more than happy to be here at Amakhala Game Reserve in the Eastern Cape. Look at the spectacular views. Black wildebeest, some eland in the background, and wow, just an incredible landscape. And the sun is out, so good afternoon everyone. My name is Lauren and I do have Christopher on camera today. It's Sabi, but I just felt like I needed to spice it up. But you should have known that. You should have recognized it then. So yes, we're going to go on a bit of a mission today. So just quickly, Davi, we're going to try and go right up the top along that ridge there. It actually looks like it's miles away, but believe it or not, it's not that far. It's very easy to get to. So we're going to climb up the mountain in the car, obviously not on foot. And we're going to sort of investigate what's around that side. We may be successful, we may not. Hopefully, actually today I know we won't get lost. We have a compass with us. But this morning was absolutely fantastic. For any of you who missed it, we managed to meet the king of Amakhala, and that is in fact the male lion. And he's young, he's just over 3.5, but wow. I completely fell in love with him. I am in love. Do you hear that, Davi? With the lion. He is magnificent. I completely missed the name there, but yes, I agree with you. It's a very strange mix of antelopes and some new ones for you that you don't see in the Lowveld, that's for sure. Vegas, Mom. Yes, new ones for you guys. Black wildebeest, not the blue, and I have to say I much prefer the black. I just love that dyed bleach blonde tail, and they've got a completely different body shape. I just love them. The blue wildebeest, well, you know, we spent a lot of time with the 5 that live on quarantine and move up and down to Gowrie Dam. And, of course, we've got the eland just resting in the background there. And it's refreshing. It's refreshing to see different species and do a comparison. We're obviously in the Eastern Cape, as I mentioned, which is quite far away from where Juma is in the Lowveld, way up in sort of in Mpumalanga side of South Africa. Very different biome, very different topography, landscape, vegetation. And that's why we're here. We're here to nourish the story of Juma by showing you the rest of South Africa.
I got some zebra there too.
You got some zebra?
We protect and reconnect nature across southern Africa. We bring countries together to care for wild spaces that stretch beyond borders. We protect and restore biodiversity. We prioritize the people living in these landscapes, enabling them to thrive in harmony with nature. We are restoring tomorrow.
So of course, once we do get to that ridge over there, we will give you a view. It's just rude not to. And then we're going to go over to the western side of the main reserve. One of you messaged me today to clarify about the predators, and it's split into 3 territories. So here where we are, you have the lions, and they've separated the cheetah population from the lion population, which I believe is a wise move. So on this territory, on this part of the reserve, the lions are the apex predator. But when we move to the other side, it is the cheetahs, because they're at the top, which is not common, I guess. They're the apex predator over there. Springbokies. Where? Oh, am I in the way? Okay, there we go, another antelope for you. And I think, Yuri, you were about to ask a question about the most common antelope we get here. And I don't think it is impala. We see impala here, absolutely. I definitely see them on the main reserve. But I wouldn't say that's the most common one. I don't actually know in terms of population numbers which antelope species that we do see here has the highest number. Okay, we are going to climb up to that ridge and take a look at the view, but we are going to send you back to my favourite place on Juma.
At the hyena den indeed, and loving it. So as much as Miss Ndebele is very sleepy, we've been seeing pops of the cubs coming in and out around her, so from the back of the termite mound, and there comes another adult. Hello. So we are getting more and more activity as the afternoon is wearing on. So just now we had Kira, Masingita and Koa, and I can't believe how big Masingita's gotten. Absolutely unreal. Coming in to investigate. Maybe we'll get the little cubs coming out. Oh, and giving a sniff. Swazi and Ndebele are very light-coloured compared to the other hyenas. Hello, Swaz. Nice to see you. It's been a while. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Yeah, I've been gone a whole month. Where are you going? So it is very nice to see that Swazi's cub has gotten so big. After all of that, the surprise and the little miracle that we got from male Swazi turned out to be beautiful Masingita. Ah, there we go, there's a cub. We have some cub action. Oh my goodness, how have you gotten so big? You actually look like a proper little hyena now. Hardly black anymore. Oh, getting cheeky. So that's Masingita acting up a storm there. I can't believe Swazi's little cub is so big. What happened in the month while I was away? Definitely looking like a male. Look at the excitement. Not much compares to a hyena cub when it gets excited, greeting the adults. Would you like me to try and move a little bit forward, BK? Come on. So it's such a tough spot because of the big branch in the middle. If we move a little bit further. Singita, what are you doing? Rubbing his back along the entrance to the den and getting very playful with Auntie Bele. Oh, you're a clown just like your mother. Look at that behavior. I don't know if there's a single person here that can disagree with me that is not Swazi's little one. Just based on the behavior, you don't even need to see the spot pattern. There's so much happening here. I actually can't keep up with it sometimes. It's unreal. Oh, Auntie Bele's tired of this. Tomfoolery. What is this nonsense? So in all seriousness, Ndebele and Swazi are probably two of the most tolerant hyenas I have ever seen, and very possibly the best mothers in terms of dedication, presence, babysitting. They are just unreal, constantly at the den. Such a little miniature Swazi clown. Now you can imagine Masingita and Ndebele are going to have a very close bond, as will Masingita and Ndebele's two cubs, because Swazi and Ndebele are so close as sisters. Isn't it unreal? So beautiful.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited safari guide training with courses tailored for the African safari larger industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
Ndebele's tried her best to settle down in a different position now. Hopefully she's not as bothered by the cubs there. I don't know where the others have gone. They're still around the back. But now it's turned into a bit of a grooming session. And these cubs are so fluffy. I'm just hoping that the others decide to come out as well. And it's no wonder I'm confused about the size of the cub. This one might be Loki and not Masingita. But isn't it amazing how they're such little clowns? I love it. It sounds like Ralph has a bit of a surprise, so let's head over there and have a look what he's looking at, and hopefully we get some more of the cubs out at the den.
Yes, well, right on time. The elephants are back. Well, one of the herds anyway. Looks like they're quite thirsty. So let's hope that they hang around a little bit. I just wanted to zoom out just to see how many we have there. Okay, let's go back in and get them all in. Right. Lovely. I think the matriarch is that one in the middle. She seemed to be leading the troops. Little babies there. Now, Trevor, who's 11 years old, thanks for your question. I absolutely know that animals swim for fun. I've seen elephants rolling around in the water, swimming like porpoises or dolphins. And at this very waterhole, we've seen the hyenas in the morning having an absolute ball of a time. Running around, chasing each other into the water and jumping in it and playing as if there was no tomorrow. So I think they love playing in the water. Obviously, a lot of the times animals are a bit scared they're going to be eaten by something, but when they have the chance to relax, they definitely do enjoy it. And if you've ever seen an elephant swimming in the water, you can see that they are just having so much fun. In one of the game reserves in Pongola, which is in KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa, I was actually on a boat, on my boat, and I saw some elephants swimming, and I went towards them, and there were two of them, and they were swimming in the water, and they actually swam towards me. I had to drive the boat away. They were swimming underwater, coming up, going down, coming up, going down. It was just incredible. Lola Bunny, thanks for the compliment. I'm still trying to work this camera out, but thank you for saying that it's lovely camera work. I think it's more the camera than me, but I'll take the compliment. Thank you. Lovely reflections there. I haven't seen too much playfulness from the elephants here at this waterhole yet. So, it seems like these elephants are now quenching their thirst, and I'm thinking they're probably going to make their way afterwards. Who knows? We may be surprised. But anyway, from one waterhole to another, off to Cedric.
Yes, I'm just sitting at Buffelshoek Dam and just looking at some hippos here at the moment. Very interesting to see, looking on their backs. There's two, one to the left and that's one that we are focusing on now. They've got really serious bad scratches on their backs. So I've been sitting here and just looking and observing, and you can see it's a young male, very much still dark around the eyes, like with the females, they get much pinker around the eye area. So it looks like maybe two young males that's been pushed out of an area and have found more of like a safety net here for themselves at Buffelshoek Dam itself. And but it looks like those scratches have healed, so there's not really new scratches at all, or like, how can I say, injuries. So it doesn't look like it's going to be any life-threatening injuries on them.
It's time to put your feet up after a long week. WildEarth invites you to unwind with a weekend at the Waterhole, our life source of the bush, home to so much joy and danger. Join us on the 9th and 10th of July to get your wildlife refill broadcasted to you live all weekend at the Waterhole.
WildEarth's weekend at the Waterhole is going to be epic, and we want to make sure that you are kitted out for the occasion. We've launched some wonderful merchandise just for you. Are you a dam cam lover? Find these and more on our website. So get your snacks ready, put your feet up, and join us for a weekend at the Waterhole.
Lincoln, no, they don't. I think the elephants, I think they say the elephant's skin is around like 20 mil. So it's elephant's got definitely the thickest skin. Where your hippos, yeah, their skin is, it's not that thick. It's more the fatty layer that's under the skin. So the epidermis is a little bit of a thinner epidermis, and that's why it is a sensitive epidermis to the sunlight. So it's, but where the elephant's got that real ruggedy, thick skin of about 20 mils. So, yeah, but I mean, it's still, you can still see the injuries. I mean, when it actually something like bites into a hippo's skin, you can actually see when it opens up, you'll actually see it'll start bleeding very quickly, and that's a big thing that's why they don't hang around outside the water areas during the daytime on summertime when it's very hot. because that skin can starts cracking, just a little bit of a crack through the skin, and they can start bleeding, and it could end up fatal for them. So water is very, very much a necessity for them in hot summer days. Well, there is some giraffe coming down to drink as well. Oh, hello! It looks like a male on the left and a female on the right there. And an oxpeck on the hippo there as well. Yeah. This is, of course, using the hippo's head as a little kind of a, how can I say, a base to sit on and maybe have a little bit of a drink. Where is it? Oh, it flew off. It's taken off. But it looks like two young male hippos in that in the pod here. And then we've also got, if Jan can just show, there's a nice greenback heron that's sitting on the dead knobthorn tree that's pretty much a little bit submerged into the dam, into the water. So I'm just going to see if we can get it here. Go to the left, up there. There it is. There we go. So a beautiful greenback heron, of course, as well, using that. I've seen that greenback heron a few times, yeah, using that dead tree as well. It's like a little base, so sitting on top there, very close to the water edge. And if there is anything like a little fish that's swimming past there, it'll strike with lightning fast a strike and to grab that fish from the water. So yeah, but it looks like it's just preening itself at the moment, cleaning itself and making sure it is good to go. I'm actually waiting for these giraffes. We're going to take a little bit of time to come down. Yes, while we're sitting at Buffelshoek Dam, I'm so happy that Tessa has got to see all the little cubbies out again. So yeah, let's head over to her and see what's happening with Juma clan.
Said not much preening and cleaning happening here, but definitely a lot of playing. I can tell you these cubs are keeping us on our toes. Just trying to follow them is a bit of a nightmare. But it's absolutely brilliant to be able to do it because there's so much action going on that it's hard to know where to look at the moment. So this is Loki and Kira having an absolutely brilliant time bullying each other. The one standing up now is Kira. There's Loki sitting behind. And it looks like the two boys are intent on having as much fun as possible by biting each other's necks and ears. And in fact, I noticed on them earlier, they're both starting to get a bit of tattering on their ears because they keep biting each other. It's a wrestling match to see who can roll the other one into the dentrance. So Koa and Masingita were here just now as well. Masingita went back into the hole, I think. Koa, I think, went around the back. Naughty boys. They've actually each got a little bit of a mohawk as well. It's very cute. They're a beautiful mix at the moment between playful cub and very petite-looking adult hyena. Because they've got all the features of the adults now, except that they're still super fluffy. And they still need to grow into their ears, I feel. So Kira looks like the instigator here and Loki looks like the biter. Dustin, yeah, there might be dangerous parasites around the den site. The problem with things like the tick load or the parasite load in the den is that it builds up the more hyenas there are and the longer they stay. So with so many cubs in and out and a beautiful underground warm haven, it means that things like ticks and fleas might build up and even things like flies. So they can all carry diseases and so they are all considered potentially dangerous parasites. So yes, they very well could be. It could be part of the reason why they've moved den sites back to Ribbon's old den site. It could also just be, though, because the smell was building up at the other one, and so that would attract other predators. But of course, a parasite load is definitely something that the hyenas are aware of, and especially at very young ages, the cubs are quite vulnerable to that. So you want to be very careful of those parasites. We're having a bit of a stare-off. Koa running off to the side. So Koa and Masingita are actually very similar colors, more similar to Mbilo. And Tima's cubs and Ribbon's cubs are very similar in color and fluffiness. They're much more fluffy than the others. Interesting, isn't it? How there's some common trends. It is time to chew. This is what we must do now. Chewing and digging seems to be the agenda for today. So it's fascinating to watch because, of course, this is all a learning experience for the cubs. Everything that they do, whether it's chewing something, digging at something, all of this pretty much heightens every sense. Hello, Masingita. You've gotten big. Time for a lie down on the back. Okay, so now I'm back in the full swing of things. Now I've got this. It's amazing to see them so playful.
So it's the weekend, and what better way to spend a day than sat near one of these wonderful waterholes?
So get yourself some snacks and a hat and come and join us for the weekend at a watering hole.
So for the days the 9th and the 10th of July, our teams here at WildEarth from across Southern Africa are going to be spending quality time at a number of waterholes.
We will see you there.
See you there.
So it is definitely action time at the den. There is no two ways about it. Loki, Kira and Masingita are all bullying each other. Koa has disappeared, not interested in this game of tomfoolery. And it is in fact Kira and Masingita fighting up a storm. More than Loki. Loki really does have a naughty face, though. Maybe not as... I feel like Koa's face is more naughty than Loki's. Harley, it's definitely possible that the cubs will reshape the den. Whether or not they would ruin it, I don't know. I wouldn't think so, because as much as they are strong and they're born with the instinct to dig and the ability to dig from a very young age, I don't know how easily they could ruin a den. They could definitely extend the den and change the shape of it inside and outside. But I wouldn't think that they would be able to ruin the den. I suppose it also depends. Wow, it's chew time. It also depends on the definition of ruin, because for us and for hyenas it might be a different thing. For us it might be the aesthetic appeal, and for the hyenas it might be functionality. Now, I'd assume functionality would be the best thing to talk about, but not always the easiest thing for us to determine from looking at the outside. Don't fall backwards. Oh, you can see they're watching, so another adult is coming in. Is it Ntima? It might be. Oh, that was a very quick retreat. Yes, it is Ntima, but she's behind the bushes at the moment. I can just see patches of her, and she's coming from the back of the den. So we'll only see her if she decides to come up to the entrance. Oh, it's amazing how the whole atmosphere changed. The cubs got such a fright seeing another adult. Beautiful natural instinct goes straight back into the entrance, down into the safety of the burrow. Oh, Koa has gotten so big. Amazing, though, to see Koa's dominance immediately. The other cubs are still hiding, and Koa is out and about, and she's ready to go and greet the adult. She's fully exposed as well. She's excited, so her genitalia are exposed. It just shows that natural-born dominance that she's got. Confidence. See how cautious the other cubs are. Unreal. You can just see the rank or the hierarchy from looking at their behavior. Now, I'd love to see the size of Ndebele's cubs now in comparison to Masingita and Koa. Alright, so it seems like everybody's heading out the back now to greet Ntima. So if they don't come back, we'll head around that side. But it sounds like Lauren has some babies of her own, but hers have stripes instead of spots.
Look at this suckling. That's so lovely. It's not so little. I mean, this foal is quite a decent size. But you can see here the suckling. That's not something I've seen too often with zebra. The zebra and Juma can be very skittish. Sometimes they just don't want to hang around naturally. There are too many predators. Wow. Oh, that was really adorable. You see, Mom's just patiently letting it happen. Mom is a big factor in the weaning process. The weaning process is exactly that. It's a process. It's not simple. One day you stop drinking milk. It's not like that at all. It's a process of learning cues. Mom's behavior will change because she's trying to push you onto your normal diet. And the milk will start tasting weaker as time goes on. So there's also that cue that it's not as delicious as it once was, I'm sure. It's not as rich. Gladys, I agree. These moments are so special. I didn't expect that. It actually wasn't what we stopped for. We just stopped to admire the zebra. And we got lucky. But yes, then there's the hormonal changes in Mom. And the hormonal changes will be sort of cued for Mum to start behaving differently. And you'll see even in the cats, they get quite angry because they're trying to tell the youngster, enough now. It's time for you to start eating meat or grazing grass or taking the leaves. And it's a
WildEarth have really inspired me to return to South Africa after having followed so many beautiful characters. This ticket to dream has given me a great opportunity to meet the WildEarth team, which I thank. They're all amazing. Well, I love all of the characters, but I do have a particular passion for leopards. It's a dream, and as I said before, I just keep on pinching myself. Am I really here?
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
I actually also wanted to show you the blessed bucky. Can you get it, Dav, or is it behind the pole?
Let's have a look.
You gotta love those pole moments.
Yeah, right behind the pole.
Right behind the pole?
Maybe you could roll for us then.
Oh. Is it a pole with horns?
Yes. A little bit more.
Okay, I am going to give you one view of a pole, well, an animal with horns and not a pole with horns, my favourite antelope, the blessed bucky. But for now, we are going to send you over to Ralph at the Juma Dam with a bit of a treat for you all.
Lovely. The buffalo herd has come back down for a drink. This is a lovely herd. It is indeed. There's some very big bulls here with very big horns. Now, nice and easy to see the difference between male and female. I want to show you a nice big bull. There's one. There. So you can just see, just from the difference in their boss, which is what we talk about, that horn structure on the top of their head. The males have a much more pronounced boss, is what we call it, and obviously the penis flap in the middle of the stomach. That's the obvious way to check. But the females, then you will see, have a much sort of more refined boss, if we call it that.
Hi, I am David. I come to you live from the Mara Triangle, all the way from Kenya.
This is not a postcard. This is real sunrise in the beautiful Maasai Mara.
Here on WildEarth, we love it when you interact with our guides while they are live. In order to do this, you must head over to wildearth.tv/questions and submit your questions, comments, and suggestions. Simple as that. And to make it even simpler, from time to time, you will see a QR code on your screen. Open your camera phone and scan this code, and it will take you straight to where you need to be. We look forward to answering your questions on this channel.
These are yellow-billed. They've got more of a zzz, zzz, like type call as opposed to the chick, chick of the red-billed. So these ones are a little bit like, yeah, more like Star Wars versus Star Trek, something like that, you know. But the yellow-billed, more of a zzz kind of clicky noise, and the red-billed have got a krrk. So it's just a bit more refined in the yellow-billed oxpeckers. But us as trail guides, we want to know the yellow-billed oxpecker call. Wesley, oxpeckers can be considered pests. We've just seen a buffalo that had a very unfortunate injury on his testicles, and there was meat and flesh hanging, and the oxpeckers were at the back literally feeding on the flesh. So, and he was sort of trying to swat them away the whole time. So normally they are an aid to the buffalo, assisting in taking off ticks and so on. But then when they get injuries like that, then they become a pest. And like for the hippos, they you know, that don't have ticks really because of the time they spend under the water. they are then pests as well, because any injuries they try to keep open. So oxpeckers are sanguinivores. They feed on blood, and obviously with gorged ticks, the ticks are full of blood, so they're not actually eating the tick. They are, but they're after the blood inside the tick. So the tick has sort of extracted the blood from the buffalo, and the oxpecker then feeds on the ticks. But when there's open wounds, they keep those wounds open so the blood keeps flowing, in which case they then become pests or parasites. So sanguinivore, whichever way you say it, that is a nice term for an animal or thing that eats blood. Bats generally aren't sanguinivores, as shown in Dracula. I would say oxpeckers are more vampires than bats. But wow, look at that. They're having baths. Sure. Look at that. That is a oxpecker bonanza. Washing, grooming, incredible. Right, I think I'm just going to sit here and watch this. But I hear that Cedric's at another waterhole, however, a little smaller.
Yes, I'm at Guaripan at the moment, and I was here about 2 days ago with Jan as well, and we actually found leopard tracks from Langa. But I can see there's now new and fresher tracks here from this morning. Why I say so, first of all, you can see the track of Langa. It's pretty much the front paw here, and there's another front paw just on the left, of course. What she's doing in the back paws at the back here. So what she's doing, she's actually stretching her two front paws out, and she's stretching over, and she's drinking from this spot of the water. And of course you can see you can still reach the water area. But it's such a nice track. I actually wonder what I want to do. I want to get that plaster of Paris and actually, or that filler, and actually like just make a little kind of I'm going to say a print of or Columba's leopard print, make a cast from it. It'll be very nice. Have a Columba's leopard print cast. Okay, why I'm saying that is very fresh, because 2 days ago, this is how quickly this water is going down. So 2 days ago, we were talking about this track right here of Langa. So this one is around about maybe 3 days old, 4 days old. And of course, she was sitting here and drinking from this spot. So you can just see how far this water has gone down and how quickly it's gone down. I mean, 2 days ago, that water was around about at this point. So definitely the water is subsiding quite a bit. So yes, I am going to still follow up on Langa. I think she was around here this morning. We did find her tracks on Central coming up the side. I think she did come north. So I'm going to head towards Cheetah Cut Line, take a look at Cheetah Cut Line, and head south there and see if she hasn't moved east into Torchwood. So at least that kind of cancels that out for me as well. But it's nice to see the little tracks here.
The Maasai Mara in Kenya, a remote landscape where wilderness reigns. Its inspirational beauty captivates the hearts of many around the world. This year, from August, WildEarth is leading a number of unique expeditions to follow Africa's greatest wildebeest migration here in the Maasai Mara. And now, the remaining places have been discounted by 20%. Head over to our website to find out.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited Safari Guide training with courses tailored for the African safari lodge industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
Alright, so we're leaving Guaripan. Looks like she did have a drink there this morning. It seems very fresh from that side. So I know that tracks on Central, so I'm going to take a look further south. I'm hoping that we can find her somewhere If not, if she's gone into Torchwood, at least then I know that I don't have to spend too much time looking around for her. But you know Langa, she's always all over the show. Gale, yes, definitely. Tracks are preserved in clay. Like if there's no other rain coming through, so sometimes you'll find spurs like that's been left there for maybe from last summer, and there's no rain during the winter time or hardly any rain, maybe a little bit. It won't really spoil some of the tracks, especially like the bigger animals. But that track of Langa, especially that one that was about 4 days ago, it's such a neat little track inside that wallow that I definitely feel like taking a little, like, you know, plaster of Paris or clay or something, and actually put it in there and make a little cast out of her track. Which you can imagine that, having a little Columbus track with you. That would be cool. I would love that. But anyway, that's another thought for another day, I think. But it would have been nice. Oh my word, I think Ralph has got some elephants that's staring into the camera, just like me.
Yes, we've got elephants right next to the camera here. I'm just waiting for my controls so that I can just go down a bit on this guy, but he's right in front of us. Lovely. There he goes. Shame, I can't follow him currently, unfortunately. My controls were coming up a little bit too slowly, but wow, that's just an indication of how these elephants are just keeping on rolling in. There, I'm able to now. And we just have a little bit of a lag with the distance in the remote cameras. Sometimes it does play up a little bit, but shame. There was a lovely elephant right in front of the camera. Now we move up and just have a look and see where they went. No, they moved off. Oh well, there'll be more, that I can promise you. Let's go around. There might still be some more on the other side. It's a nice hot day, winter's day, but yeah, that's the luck of the draw, hey? You've got to be quick with these elephants. It seems here in winter they just come for a drink and then they move off. But I'm guessing in summer we're going to see them coming and swimming and playing a lot more. I think they're also a little bit susceptible to the water being a bit colder. So unlike the hyenas, who didn't seem to care, I think the elephants feel the cold a little bit more. Well, that's my thinking anyway. So we wait for another group to come down. Still such a lovely setting, and if you've been watching, you'll be seeing the lovely sunsets that we've been having. It's been absolutely stunning. So the sun's still quite high for the time being, but it does start to set very quickly. So in the next couple of hours, we're going to see that kaleidoscope of colors starting to come through as the sun heads towards the horizon. Very pretty. The other animals seem to have moved off now, but they just keep on rolling through. Ooh, we've got a terrapin here close towards us. Let's go down and see if we can get him on camera. There he is. Let's have a zoom in on a terrapin. Listen to those elephants in the background. The question being, I think it's that is Mashatu close to Pans? No, Pans is quite a lot further north and more in central Botswana. And this is right in the south, right on the border of South Africa and Zimbabwe. So this is on the right southern tip of Botswana, as I'm trying my best to follow this very slow swimming terrapin. Marsh terrapin, just sort of waddling himself around. He looks about as good a swimmer as my basset hound at home. He's also quite a waddling swimmer. Lovely audio from the elephants.
It's time to put your feet up after a long week. WildEarth invites you to unwind with a weekend at the Waterhole, our life source of the bush, home to so much joy and danger. Join us on the 9th and 10th of July to get your wildlife refill broadcasted to you live all weekend at the Waterhole.
WildEarth's weekend at the Waterhole is going to be epic, and we want to make sure that you are kitted out for the occasion. We've launched some wonderful merchandise just for you. Are you a dam cam lover? Find these and more on our website. So get your snacks ready, put your feet up, and join us for a weekend at the Waterhole.
So in different languages, we've got so many animals here in sort of southern Africa. I'm not saying that in different countries they might not have as many. So for instance, when we classify terrapins, tortoises and turtles being seagoing turtles, tortoises being terrestrial, and then terrapins being freshwater going. But like in other languages, you would just say turtle for all three. It's quite similar with baboons and monkeys. I know in French you call them singes, but for us it's a baboon or it's a monkey. For them they just call it, they're all one, all the primate, they're all just singes, monkeys. They're all monkeys, but for us we distinguish between baboons and monkeys. And I know that happens with a few different languages as well. I'm sure that there would be specialities with fromage, for instance. And so we just call it cheese, but they would be disgusted if we just call the different cheeses random cheese. Yes. So my little tortoise and cheese conversation is now over. Let's send you on over to Cedric.
Sorry, there's a lot of flies that keep on going into my mouth here and like flying on my face everywhere. There's a lot of flies. I think it's all the buffaloes that we've been having around this area. So we've got a lot of little flies. And yes, I'm not in the mood to eat a few of those. But yes, apparently I think Tessa's heading on to chit with us at this point in time, so I'm hoping that she picks up on something very interesting that side. You never know. Never know. But I'm still on the central. I'm still trying to find my last leopard tracks for lumber from this morning. It was in this area right here, this vicinity. And as well, the Cubs tracks were just just west of us on central in that drainage line as well. So I am going to keep my eyes peeled for this area, for this road, and hopefully we can get something around here. But yes, waterholes have been doing very well this afternoon. And talking about a waterhole, as you know, this weekend coming up is a waterhole weekend. It is going to be a lovely weekend spent at all the watering holes around the area. So we are going to do a lot of dam hopping. So that is on the 9th and the 10th of July. That is Saturday and Sunday. So yes, I am looking forward to that. And I looked at the weather. It looks like it's going to be a marvelous time here at Juma Private Game Reserve and in Pridelands for that waterhole weekend. So yes, indeed. Get the snacks, get your peanuts, your crisps, your cool drinks and all those things ready. sit back and kick your feet up and enjoy the watering holes on the weekend. I'm going to be doing that, definitely, on Rusty, of course.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
So it's the weekend, and what better way to spend a day than sat near one of these wonderful waterholes?
So get yourself some snacks and a hat and come and join us for the weekend at a watering hole.
So for the days the 9th and the 10th of July, our teams here at WildEarth from across Southern Africa are going to be spending quality time at a number of waterholes.
We will see you there.
See you there.
Double check, yeah. All right, I'm just going to double check here quickly. Sorry, I might be off the comms here quickly. I just want to get my little handheld all sorted out. All right, yeah, it's the tracks of her and maybe the cubs. I'm just looking. Yeah, there's a track here. There's one. Yeah, I see that tree. There's another track, a little track here with it. So that is definitely the cubs with her, yeah. See a little track as well next to her. I know it's difficult to see, how you're on. Yeah. Yeah, but it looks like definitely the cubs came up with her, yeah, this morning, heading into that area. But a little bit further on is just her tracks. So I wonder if she didn't now go and leave them a little bit further into this area. I know Batalia Road is not too far here, and there is a beautiful little pan that she used to leave the little cubs that side. So there is definitely more than one leopard here, and I think it's Langa and the cubs. Anyway, well, I'm going to continue looking around this area for Langa and the cubs or anything interesting in this area. Let's head over to Lauren, as she's got a beautiful view to show everybody.
Being brave, my son, doesn't mean you go looking for trouble. Where's that quote from, everyone? I'll give you another clue. This is my pride lens. Wow. We're at a place called God's Window, and I'm sure I don't even need to describe to you why it's called that. It really doesn't take much for us to get up here. This is Amakhala, all of it. And that's why it takes us a little bit of time to get from A to B. You can see it's sort of this wide, vast, open grasslands, thick, scattered clusters of thicket surrounded or engulfed by a mountain range. So we've come all the way up here to God's Window. Just view this. Samantha, yes, the Lion King. Hakuna Matata. Very inaccurate. Well, not very, but not entirely inaccurate. James Hendry used to love going off about the Lion King. But you still love it. My childhood was Walt Disney. The Little Mermaid, the Lion King, the lot of them. And this is the Pride Lens. It's incredible. You can spot for miles. I'm sure if you sat here with your binos, you would genuinely be able to spot the lions if they were in the area or any other organism that you're looking for. When I jumped up here, there was a dassy, but naturally it ran away. Davy and I have never been here before, so this is the first time. Well, we have been up high, but not here at God's Window. And it just makes you feel really small. Many of you are saying you can't believe how we can beat the view every day, and yet we do. Every day we're finding more and more spots. Amakhala is so special, everyone. It is close to the end too, but it's not the reserve's fault that human decided to build a highway, but it makes it extremely accessible, and it is just phenomenal. And I love feeling small. Sometimes we live our little human lives and we get so wrapped up in the smallest, stupidest things that we actually forget that we are small and insignificant in the grand scheme of things.
We want to make it even easier for you to interact with our guides whilst watching WildEarth. When you see a QR code like this pop up on your screen, then open your phone camera, point it at the code, and you will be taken directly to our question page. Simple as that. Then you can let us know what you want to see, ask questions, and much more.
I've had it before where I've been walking and the waterbucks jumped out of the grass. It's quite a frightening experience.
WildEarth, it's in your nature.
I can see baboon tracks everywhere, dassies. There's a whole lot of life that lives up in the mountains that we don't get to see. I bet you there are so many species here that even the guides don't even see, because it's not possible to get into the valleys and it's not possible to get into every nook and cranny in the mountains. But honestly, Amakhala, wow, wow, wow. Well, Hakuna Matata, everyone. We are going to send you over to Cedric to see if he can beat my view, but I don't think he can.
I'm sure Lauren's got a stunning view. Fortunately, here in the sands, I mean, Lauren knows it's very woody, it's very thick, very dense. Yes, we've got beautiful views. Don't get me wrong, definitely. But you know, those views, especially if you're looking for a leopard, I don't think we'll be at those views at this point in time. We'll be more at the riverine areas, more of the drainage lines, things that the leopards enjoy, like, you know, real bushy areas. So. Well, we're going to go look for a beautiful view somewhere. Let's head over to Ralph. I think he's got some giraffe coming down for a drink.
Yep. Well, we've finally got the giraffe now down next to the waterhole. Let's just go in a little bit closer. You see that one employing the bendy leg method to drink. Not the splits. I'll always love seeing which way they're going to go. They're going to bend their legs or they're going to do the splits. Let's see what it does this time. Seems like it's a bendy leg method kind of guy. There we go. Yep. Now watch for the head flick and the water spray when he's finished. That is ideal for photography. If you get ready now, wait for it. They always do that head flick and the water dripping off their mouth. There. Always. Without fail. They always look rather confused. Okay. So old Bendy, there we go. Going for another round while he's got his two watchmen. Warthogs coming through. And the grey go-away bird in the background. Is he also a bendy or is he a splitty? Oh, a little bit of in between. Old Bendy's back. There we go. It really looks uncomfortable, that. Shame. And the flick. Let's see the flick on the other one. Oh, he's got a double flick. Let's see. Killian, they're not, well, yes, they're not, I wouldn't say standing guard for the other one, but they are just generally on edge, giraffe, permanently. So they're always on guard. You see that one on the left, just really having a look, probably just because there's a bird calling, a guinea fowl there or so. Oh, and the flick. So everybody's looking out for themselves, really, but if they make any movements, everybody else takes notice. So it's almost every man for himself, but every man takes notice of every other man's reactions or everything they do. So it sort of inadvertently is looking out for each other. I'm really interested in something over there. Let's zoom out. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not just guinea fowl, but maybe they've spotted something. I do look very concerned. Let's have a look. What are you guys looking at? How often I've had giraffe point me on lions, you know, because they're so tall, they pick them up. Oh, thank you. That's what you were looking at. That's what you were looking at. Yes, indeed. Thank you, giraffe.
I still can't believe the amount of oxpeckers on this poor hippopotamus. It's almost more oxpecker than skin at the moment. But they do seem to be retreating now it's heading into the water. Maybe that's what you should have done first there. Wow, they really are. That's an effective method there, hippopotamus. Well done. And oh, they go.
Tracy, I have seen elephants chase giraffe, especially young bulls, and they get up to mischief. But generally, they're not too concerned with them. It's just almost in a playful way that they would chase giraffe, like this young bull, all on his own. But generally, when they're with the herd, when they're young bulls like this that aren't walking with the herd, they can be quite nervous and a little bit unsure of themselves. So they don't generally sort of chase things just for the fun of it when they're alone like this. But when they're with the herd, they would, when they're with the herd, they'd be a lot more boisterous, they'd be a lot more adventurous, and they would definitely chase things like giraffe. Eventually, that's sort of what lands up them being pushed out of the herd. The matriarch and the females start getting agitated, irritated with those young males because they're becoming too boisterous, and so they get told off a lot. Eventually, those young males sort of, they normally take on an older bull that walks on his own, and they sort of go with them or him. And that's what through my experience with elephants, especially with the desert elephants out in Namibia, in the desert, that I've followed for many years, that's what I saw them doing a lot. And we followed the herds, we followed the lone bulls, and we always found lone bulls with these sort of young teenagers that had been pushed out of the herd for their boisterous behavior, and then they sort of take on or move with this older bull and then learn from him. And that's sort of how they learn, the ways of the wild, or also from another old wise head. But with the older bull, obviously doesn't take any nonsense from the youngsters, so not a problem for him when the youngsters follow them. Now, Thomas, I've never seen elephants becoming possessive over a waterhole, but they can, it's a point of meeting. So elephants aren't territorial and they don't become possessive. They can become possessive over females, especially if they're coming into estrus. But they can also, and because of that, they would have fights with other big bulls that potentially are trying to get in before them. And one such case I've seen at Etosha at Okakuil, where there was a herd of elephants at the waterhole, and in amongst them there were some bulls, but there was one reasonably big bull, but not a fully mature bull, and he was quite boisterous. He was messing the females around. You could see they were a bit agitated, and off in the distance slowly walked this massive bull. And he walked towards the waterhole, he walked around the waterhole, and when he was about 20 or 30 meters away, this boisterous youngster sort of turned towards him and sort of thought, hey, he's been taking everybody on, let me take this guy on as well. And the big bull just continued slowly walking towards him. Now this youngster sort of did little mock charges and so on, and the big bull took no notice. He just kept on the same pace, slowly walking towards him. And by the time he got to that elephant, they were right in front of us.
We protect and reconnect nature across southern Africa. We bring countries together to care for wild spaces that stretch beyond borders. We protect and restore biodiversity. We prioritize the people living in these landscapes, enabling them to thrive in harmony with nature. We are restoring tomorrow.
And so after the 25-second headbutt stance, with the youngster sort of moving back a little bit, the youngster pulled back, went quiet, walked away, and disappeared. He walked off, and that was it. And the big bull then joined the herd and started drinking next to the waterhole, and calmness was restored. It was just one of those amazing encounters, and happened right in front of us. When we go to Okakuil, I will sort of show you where it happened, and it was just phenomenal. One of those really encounters that sticks in your mind forever. For me, it's always, I've never forgotten that. Just stunning how that big bull, without doing a whole lot, he just established dominance through force, but it didn't take for a massive fight, just for that headbutt and the push, and the youngster understood he needs to move. Lawrence, yes, definitely. I don't know about hippos. They might have to walk quite a far distance to get here, but it's not impossible. They definitely could. But as you can see in the surrounding area, I don't know if the grazing would be great for hippos. So I'm guessing that they would maybe use it as a bit of a stopover and move back to one of the rivers that do move through the area. But crocodiles, yes, I know that there used to be 2 crocodiles in this waterhole in the past, but it seems like there aren't any anymore. I think the hyenas also realize that, and that is why they carry on like they do in the water, playing and swimming and carrying on. Because I think if they were doing that and there were crocodiles in this water, I think one of them would have been eaten already, playing around like that, playing the fool in the water, really. And yes, that's when you let down your guard next to water and there's crocodiles, you can get yourself into trouble. Right, folks, so just a reminder, please don't forget to send us through your questions and your comments using the link wildearth.tv/questions, or scan the QR code at the bottom right of your screen. And get involved in the largest game drive in the world. Let's hear what you guys have to say. What are your experiences, or what would you like to know? Get involved. There's a little warthog walks over there on the other side. So, getting a little bit quiet here, so I'm just going to pop us on over to the Juma dam camp. And let's see what's happening over there. Sorry, there we go. So Juma. Those buffalo, I think, have now moved off. I think somebody that's... that one buffalo that had that injury, I think he's going to be in trouble with the lions, because there's an open wound on his back end that I wouldn't wish on anybody. It might have been caused from the lions in the first place, and well, that's now open flesh, and I think the lions would possibly pick that up. But having said that, buffalo are very resilient. They can come back from that pretty easily. So he might also be quite fine, but sure.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited safari guide training with courses tailored for the African safari lodge industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
As we get a nice little closer look on this dwarf mongoose. There's a group of them moving through there, and the fork-tailed drongo in attendance. He's also hoping that they bump up some insects. Oh, there comes another little one. Yeah, here come a few of them. Hive of activity here next to the waterhole. What are these guys up to? See that drongo likes to follow them. Right, so we see these mongoose quite a lot. So I'm not going to stick with them for too long because I hear that Lauren's got something that you may not have seen.
Makes sense, yeah. So sometimes we'll do mobile shots when...
Linking.
Just starting wide, yeah?
A first for me. Never mind you guys. Can you believe what we are seeing right now? We are seeing two secretary birds, a male and a female, getting ready and preparing their nest. We saw them on the ground the other day, which was an amazing sighting. But to actually see these huge, predominantly terrestrial birds up on top of a tree, I mean, they're heavy birds. And the male keeps flying off, I assume it's a male, actually, and collecting bits of, well, sticks and leaves and branches and bringing them back to her, and they're making their nest. I can't believe it. I'm actually just going to use the bird app because I don't know offhand to check how long the incubation period is. Bear with me. Both sexies build the nest, so they both, it maybe wasn't the male that went off to get the stick. Okay, 40 to 46 days. Mostly incubated by the female. Now we are going to try and get closer, just a little bit, just by about 20 meters or so. They are far, it's a long distance visual, but we just wanted you to see it first before we move the car, just in case they fly away. I don't think they will, but this is just so utterly fabulous. I saw secretary birds quite a lot in the Mara, but I definitely didn't see them nesting. They actually don't look that big when you see them in the tree. When you see them on the ground, they are huge. Okay, perfect. So we're going to move forward ever so slowly and hopefully get better views for you all. But I believe Tessa has a surprise.
And what a brilliant, brilliant surprise it is. We were chatting this morning and yesterday asking when last the lovely Langa and Shasha were seen, and lo and behold, we have the lovely Miss Langa on a little termite mound next to Chitwa Dam. She's currently very wide awake because she's watching a herd of impalas as they approach the dam and looking very interested, wouldn't you say? She is so gorgeous. Now, I can't even remember the last time I saw Langa. I know it was on Chitwa, and in fact at the dam as well, I think, but on the other side of the dam wall. But I'm so happy that I've now seen Shidulu and Langa in my first 2 days back for my stint. Now, I would love to hear from you before we go any further while we're watching those impalas. I would love to hear from you if you have any lovely stories or memories of Langa, because that's the best way that we get to know them, is from sharing experiences. And I'd love to know if you have any. So if you do, please send them in. Go to wildearth.tv/questions and you can pop them in there. There's also a QR code that you can scan. But I'd love to hear from you. Please share your Langa stories with me. So isn't it amazing? In 1 whole month, Langa is going to be 3 years old. Beautiful young leopardess. just coming into her prime now, and obviously kind of marking and making her own territory, if you can call it that. And of course, always looking just as beautiful as ever, especially in this golden light.
It's time to put your feet up after a long week. WildEarth invites you to unwind with a weekend at the Waterhole, our life source of the bush, home to so much joy and danger. Join us on the 9th and 10th of July to get your wildlife refill broadcasted to you live all weekend at the Waterhole.
WildEarth's weekend at the Waterhole is going to be epic, and we want to make sure that you are kitted out for the occasion. We've launched some wonderful merchandise just for you. Are you a dam cam lover? Find these and more on our website. So get your snacks ready, put your feet up, and join us for a weekend at the Waterhole.
So I'm fairly sure Langa's going to play the patience game today. As much as we like to play it, she is an expert at playing it. And so what she's going to be doing, she's going to be waiting until the light drops a bit, and then she's going to sneak up on those impalas that are approaching the dam. So we're going to wait patiently with her and hope that we catch her making a move. But it sounds like Cat Day is extending to Cedric as well. He's found one for himself. Let's go have a look at all of our list of surprises today. It gets more and more every time we blink.
Yes, as you can see, there is a big male lion that's sleeping right next door to Rusty. And we have got, it seems like, the S8 male, the Mbali male. That is just just south of S8 male, Mbali male. Sorry, I'm just quickly telling the other guy, he wants to know quickly which one. And there is a female that is with him here at the moment as well. Unfortunately, she's out of view, but they have killed a young buffalo this morning. So that's exactly the reason why those 4 hyenas that we actually had this morning on quarantine with Philemon's Cutline Junction were all lying not too far from where we are now. They were lying there. So, of course, these lions must have killed this buffalo during early hours this morning. So yes, I am so happy to find them, and just off Philemon's Cutline and just south of quarantine. So that's close to Juma bushbraai. So of course, full belly at the moment. He is resting. Just trying to see if I can get a view of that female, but unfortunately, what is it? She's head up? No, it's lying flat. Okay, they're both lying very flat at the moment. The belly's a little bit full, but the carcass is difficult to see the carcass as well. It is where a large fruited bushwallow thicket is, on to the right-hand side there, and it's lying just inside of that bushwallow. So yes, we are going to remain here, definitely, and I'm hoping that we are going to get a better view of this male. So you never know. Yeah, oh, he's looking at it. Oh, he's going flat again. Looks like he's not too interested in looking at us. But yeah, it looks like this is. He hasn't got any. Oh, there you go. He hasn't got a coalition. He's pretty much by himself. He's pretty much a single male. So I think this could be the male lion tracks that we had last night coming along Vuyatela access, and I thought it might have been dark mane. But clearly it must have been this S8 male that came all the way along here. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful too. Yes, it's the second time I've seen this male. So, yes, it's definitely a beautiful. He has got beautiful eyes. Very, very nice eyes. Actually a very long face as well compared to if you look at the Vokers. Very long face. I think they are older, if I'm not mistaken. I am trying to get a little bit more updates on the S8 male. I'm not too familiar with the S8 male and exactly the age of them. So, but I will try and figure that one out very soon, because it seems like he's moving every time coming south. Lexi, yes, definitely very impressive. He is absolutely, the first time I saw him, I think I came up or echoed him myself. I actually jumped out the vehicle to look at their tracks on Buffalo's cut line and almost walked into him and the 3 Telemati females. But there is another female here, but I will reposition myself around this area shortly to see if we can get a better look at the female and, of course, the male itself. But yeah, I'm going to rest a little bit.
So it's the weekend, and what better way to spend a day than sat near one of these wonderful waterholes?
So get yourself some snacks and a hat and come and join us for the weekend at Waterhole.
So for the days the 9th and the 10th of July, our teams here at WildEarth from across Southern Africa are going to be spending quality time at a number of waterholes.
We will see you there.
See you there.
Just myself on the lock, yeah.
Busy quarantine at Westbrook.
Affirmative, just come down Philemon's cut line from quarantine. Just come down Philemon's cut line and I'll get our visual.
Okay, look, I'm coming from Gary side, so I'll come down 3 months. Then I'm Twin Dads and I'll meet you somewhere. I'll come down quarantine, meet you there.
Copy. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the other vehicles in at the moment.
How many stations in Juma?
And of course, the guys definitely want to come and see this male, the S8 male. A lot of them don't see him. He always used to the vocal males and all that. So it's nice to see a different male in the area. But while we are sitting here, and hopefully we will get their heads popping up just now, let's head back to Tess there in Chitwa as she is sitting with the pretty Langa.
Lots of people are excited to see the S8 male indeed. And I can tell you that we just had a vehicle I was sitting because he heard all about that and he's gone to Juma just to see the 8 male. And I can tell you as well, that's the furthest south I've heard of the S8 in my time here. So that's very exciting to see him moving around a bit more. We were wondering, in fact, when we saw the tracks this morning, if it might be him. I'm very happy that, we are kind of guessing correctly, or estimating correctly, I should say, that it was him coming in. But here we are with Langa. Let's not talk about lion. We'll leave that to Cedric. Langa has turned around a little bit. She's now facing away from the dam wall. And as you can see, she is nodding. She's starting to nod off to leave slowly. So she completely lost interest in the impalas. Maybe she's just going to surprise them later and creep up from behind the dam wall. For now, though, she is napping like a true member of royal family. I can see your head. Of course, we don't know where Shasha is. Shasha may have moved further south. But who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us and pop. I'm hoping Mareeb surprises and pops up. But anyway, we're going to wait patiently with the lovely Langa and send you back to Cedric with the S8 male to give you a little bit more thing about the S8 male and his.
Yes, of course, finally got his head up. He is just looking around. Apparently, thank you very much to Giraffe Gold, just letting me know that the lioness that is with him is one of the young Talamati lionesses that he is mating with. Oh, she's actually moving off now. She's just going maybe to a toilet. Oh, I'm not too sure, but she's heading to the termite mound. But anyway, this boy is absolutely impressive. I love him. He's got such finesse about him. There's something about him. I don't know. It's just his eyes are just mesmerizing. But yeah, this is a nice male. So. Yes, Carol K, definitely a furry for Friday. I think it's fantastic. It could be. Sorry, thank you very much, Nadine. Say it is the first day. Yeah, it's like, honestly, you're in the bush, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, any day seems to us like it's the same day all the time. That's what's fantastic. So I don't even know it was a Thursday. So if Nadine didn't even tell me, I would have thought it was a Friday or a Monday. Thank you, Nadine. So yeah, Thursday. Thank you very much, Carol K, for that. But yeah, he's got a beautiful mane. Look at that mane is running down his back. It's almost going like nicely. I remember males like that was, for instance, Hairy Belly. Hairy Belly was very much, his mane ran nicely all the way down his spine. I'm thinking other ones. I think it was Scar Nose. Oh, we used to call him, I think it was Scar Nose. Smudge. We used to call him Smudge from the Majinga lines. He had that smudge on his nose, and he also had a beautiful mane that also ran quite far down. So it looks very, very impressive. I wonder where that female disappeared to. The thing, if they were mating, I know males will stick to that female like glue, but she's now moved away to the other side of that termite mound, and he's just like not even bothered. And I only had his tracks coming down this last night, if it was his tracks. So anyway, we'll see what's going to play out. As I said, I've just got here, so I am just working out the things and what's happening around here and who's who. Yeah, not all. We know it's a S8 male at least, and yeah, he isn't. Not like the Evoker males. So, no, the Evokers have to come into this side. If this guy has to start roaring tonight, I'm sure it is going to get the Evoker males, especially Mohawk and Blondie, will definitely make their way into this area, because this is more the Evoker's territory than the S8 males territory. So, interesting times playing out here, interesting times. And I think those other male tracks went south from Twin Dams this morning. So, we're not too far between the two coalitions. Well, I'm not going to say that S8 is part of a coalition because he's by himself. But, yeah, very interesting times. I think a little buffalo youngster. Looks like maybe a year and a half year old buffalo that they took down. Winston, to me at the moment, yes. I think, well, my hawk is big. I saw my hawk the other day, he's big. Look, I've seen the S8 as well, but looking at the S8 male's head, to me, seems a little bit larger, bigger muzzle compared to my hawks. So, yeah, I think he's so far the largest one, but wait, there's that Talamati young male that's coming through, that very blonde male, that's sub-adult. I think that young male is going to be definitely quite the machine and quite the male once he grows up, because I saw him against Dark Mane the other day about a month and a half ago, and yeah, he's a fairly big sized male and he's only a sub-adult. But yeah, this S8 at the moment definitely is one of the largest males around here. A little unfair for him, unfortunately he hasn't got any backing of a coalition. But it does happen. I remember the Ottawa male in the western sector. I mean, he controlled the pride, Mangeni pride.
Wild WildEarth have really inspired me to return to South Africa after having followed so many beautiful characters. This Ticket to Dream has given me a great opportunity to meet the WildEarth team, which I thank. They're all amazing. I love all of the characters, but I do have a particular passion for leopards. It's a dream, and as I said before, I just keep on pinching myself. Am I really here?
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
We're just trying to get another vehicle into the sighting, so you are going to hear a vehicle. That's a vehicle's engine and people laughing and sighing because I think he is an impressive male lion, so I'm sure the people are going to be very happy to see him. Bob Champion, yes, definitely a lot of flies on my arms and on my legs. Thank you. No, Bob Champion, more so on me than actually the lion. But yes, Bob Champion, there's a lot of flies on the lion, of course, just sitting around there. And I think it's luckily it doesn't bother them too much. As you can see, sometimes they'll actually like kind of shake their coat a little bit to actually chase those flies off. But I think definitely those eyes, the flies ain't irritating him as much as they are irritating me. Fuzzy's at the back. Don't know, a lioness with a mane. Well, I haven't seen a lioness with a mane. It's more for, of course, the males for the fighting, the territorial fighting, protection of the neck. And sorry, I'm just trying to guide people in here at the moment. Fighting for the neck just to prevent, of course, a lot of injuries, and as well as just to look quite impressive for the females. So you'll find it's the testosterone. So once they get a territory, when sorry, that's the fly got into my mouth there. Once a male set up a territory at about 4.5, 5 years old, that mane is not big, like a little mohawk, a little bit of sideburns, chest, hairs, and all that. So once they get a territory and they start mating with the female, the testosterone climbs quite a bit in a male, and that's what actually causes the mane to really substantially grow much quicker and much larger. But with the female, they do not have that testosterone, and it doesn't need the mane to grow as large, or any mane, as a male that needs a male for, of course, showing his size for his area. But I'm just trying to look for that female there quickly. I think she is coming back. I think from Juma bush pride. Looks like she is coming south here over that termite mound. So I'm double check where she is. Yeah, I see her pointing that side. I think she is coming back here. But we are definitely going to stay here for the time being. Hopefully they start feeding very soon once it starts cooling down. And then they can start feeding. Yeah, so many flies, sorry. I'm eating flies like anything. I think that's my main course meal for the last 2-3 days. I think because of all this buffalo activity on Juma. And I think that fly came straight off the carcass into my mouth. But yeah, if he does roar tonight, it'll be very interesting, and I think for him it won't be a good idea because it will bring all Mohawk and Blondie back into this area, and I think it'll be a little bit of an issue for him, but we will see. But I doubt he will roar tonight. It's not his, I'm going to say, favorite area. Salati males, oh my word. That brought me. I remember Salati males when I was working at in the west at Savannah. The Salati males, the Salati males killed Mr. T when he ran back from when his brother Kinkitail got killed. Yeah, he went back to the west. He remained there for a few years, and then the Salati males killed him that side. I think it was 3 brothers, and then they ended up as 2. And I don't know what happened to the last one, or I don't know what happened to the last 2. They actually disappeared pretty quickly overall. But I saw the Salati males taking down a buffalo with a calf. So it was, they took down the female buffalo, and the calf was just remaining around. And then they took down the calf as well. The other male just took down the calf, and it was quite an intense sighting that. But yes, I remember the Salati male. Thank you very much for bringing that. I clean forgot about them. And I mean, that's a coalition that killed one of the most recognized males in coalitions, and that was Mr. T.
Hi, I am David. I come to you live from the Mara Triangle, all the way from Kenya.
This is not a postcard. This is real sunrise in the beautiful Maasai Mara.
Here on WildEarth, we love it when you interact with our guides while they are live.
In order to do this, you must head over to wildearth.tv/questions and submit your questions, comments, and suggestions.
Simple as that. And to make it even simpler, from time to time you will see a QR code on your screen. Open your camera phone and scan this code, and it will take you straight to where you need to be. We look forward to answering your questions on this channel.
While we're going to be sitting with the S8 male, well, let's head up back to Lauren, which she's got a sighting that I've never seen before with a secretary bird, and apparently a nesting secretary bird. So let's head over to Lauren in the Eastern Cape.
Epic indeed. 12 out of 10 I'm going to go with for this one. Now, it's been fascinating because I think their building is very difficult to tell the male and female apart from far away. But it looked like one of them, I think the female was sitting for a while. So I was debating, is she incubating? And he is just maintaining. Birds can be really meticulous with their nests. Look at that. But I think it's the male, I could be wrong, I hate assuming, keeps flying, delivering, flying off, delivering, and it's really quite special to see him land because he's huge. It just looks bizarre to see such a big bird sitting on top of, well, what I imagine is quite a fragile branch. But this is really an incredible sighting, everyone. The secretary bird is a very special bird. Got quite a unique history, a unique appearance, incredible hunters. And they are hunters. What they do is when they get their prey, they just stomp, 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 kick, 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 with the really strong legs, which you're actually not able to see, well, maybe a little bit, but their legs are just incredible, model legs. And the power in those legs when they stamp down on the prey is actually very violent. And it's not so pleasant to watch, I'm afraid, but that's how they kill their prey. It's their own sort of special superpower, if you like. I always gone about superpowers. Because it helps you in looking at the animal kingdom to think, okay, This organism's a little bit creepy or a little bit ugly. I don't like it, but it must have a superpower. What's the superpower? And once you learn that, you'll start to have a bit of affection or more affection for that species. Oh, come on, male. We really want to see you fly in. It's quite something to see. And I mean, they do look ridiculous. That crown of feathers is ridiculous. It's also adorable at the same time. Leopard lover, hello, hello. You are saying for you, this is a dream come true. I'm very, very happy to hear that, but you are interested to know their nest size. I think that was what my director says. I am not sure. Let's consult the app. The good old Robert's bird app. A firm, you are looking at the size. So between 1 meter and 1.5 meters in diameter. Said to be about 30 to 50 centimeters deep. Built of sticks, lined with grass and sometimes pieces of dung. There you go, leopard lover. Was that enough details for you? Obviously you can't see it. And she's now sort of sat down, so that must be where the nest is at. She's probably getting that hole ready, sitting down on it to sort of compress the sticks to start to make a nest, I would imagine. So when she goes down, it's really difficult to see her. But I just wanted that shot of the male swooping in. Will he not? Did you know you can see them for miles, actually? Because of their size and their coloration, you can really spot them when they're standing on top of a tree. And I realized I said I would tell you my favorite Scottish word last night at the Ask Me Anything for all of you guys who participated, and I forgot. I completely forgot. So I love to say wee for everything. Let's make a wee cuppa. Let's go for a wee walk. Let's go for a wee drive. I love to say bra. Bra means beautiful. So he's bra, or they are bra. I also say dinny ken. That means I don't know. I dinny ken. And bampot. You're a bampot. It's quite offensive. Davy, you're a bampot.
I'm not.
The Maasai Mara in Kenya, a remote landscape where wilderness reigns. Its inspirational beauty captivates the hearts of many around the world. This year, from August, WildEarth is leading a number of unique expeditions to follow Africa's greatest wildebeest migration here in the Maasai Mara. And now, the remaining places have been discounted by 20%. Head over to our website to find out.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited Safari Guide training with courses tailored for the African safari lodge industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
Sorry, my director's laughing, which is making me laugh. I'm not actually laughing at anything. It's just because she's laughing. You're a bampot, Mel. So please use that word, everyone. Feel free. It's a jolly good word, bampot. It's endearing. And it's not that rude. Cranky, you're asking a very good question, and you are asking the difference between the males and females. So they really, at the end of the day, are similar. And from a distance, I don't know if you possibly could tell the difference. You've got to look at the finer details, and that is in the fact that the males are slightly smaller, believe it or not, in size, but it's really marginal, and they have a longer crest. So when you look at a secretary bird and you see all these black feathers going around their head, they call that the crest, and the feathers on the male are actually slightly longer, and they're also longer in the tail. So if you see them standing side by side next to one another at close range, you could probably pick out who is a male and who is a female. But from far away, you would be pushed to say, definitely. And apparently, the males have a more rounded head. I don't find that very helpful. But there you go. That's what you look at when you're looking at secretary birds in order to tell the difference between the sexes. But they're just such epic birds. This is a very special sighting. Our mission today was a bird, but it wasn't these two. Okay, I think we may bumble on, try and complete our mission for the day, but we are going to send you over to Little Miss Sunshine.
What a day it has been, Lauren. Such an adventure. I'm so happy that Langa is still sticking around. She's still on the same termite mound, but she's turned and reoriented herself towards the dam. So she's facing the dam wall at the moment. The impalas have kind of come and gone. Now they're up in the clearing. So I'm not really sure what she's looking for. But she is looking a little bit almost cold. And it's definitely not what she's feeling because it's not that cold. I'm not even wearing a jersey yet, even though the sun has disappeared. But I have a feeling she was almost stalking, and then she kind of just lay down where she was stalking. So she's a little bit hunched up at the moment. But you can see she is still quite alert. She's looking, she's listening straight back towards the dam. Perhaps there's a nyala or something that's interesting her. From where we are, there's a lot of brush in between us and the dam, so we can't see what's on the northern side of the dam. Now she's looking straight down towards the drainage line in front of the dam. So who knows? She's just an incredibly alert leopardess at this point in time, and maybe she'll surprise us and we'll figure out what it is that she's looking at.
It's time to put your feet up after a long week. WildEarth invites you to unwind with a weekend at the Waterhole, our life source of the bush, home to so much joy and danger. Join us on the 9th and 10th of July to get your wildlife refill broadcasted to you live all weekend at the Waterhole.
WildEarth's weekend at the Waterhole is going to be epic, and we want to make sure that you are kitted out for the occasion. We've launched some wonderful merchandise just for you. Are you a dam cam lover? Find these and more on our website. So get your snacks ready, put your feet up, and join us for a weekend at the Waterhole.
So we have just had a little bit of an interaction. Ribbon is walking through the brush here in the long grass. There she is. I haven't seen her in over a month, so I'm very excited to see Ribbon. She came almost nose to nose with Langa there. She was right at the base of the termite mound, and then she decided to turn and walk away. So very, very interesting interaction. Langa, though, is actually still not too bothered. She flattened herself when Ribbon came past, but now she's lifted herself up again. And initially, when I saw the movement through the brush, all I saw was the spots, and I thought it was another leopard. Luckily for Langa, it was Ribbon. Have a look at where she is there. As though nothing ever happened. Cool as a cucumber. That was insane. I really thought there might be a little bit more of an interaction, maybe Langa giving a bit of a hiss or something, but she just flattened herself in the grass, ribbon sniffed around, and then moved on. But I know a lot of people have been asking about ribbons, so it's nice to know. Nice to know that we now know she's around Chitwa. Oh my goodness, that was quite a tense moment. The cats are representing today, it seems. We're having such a lucky day. So we're going to try and reposition a little bit. We've just had 2 vehicles join us in the sightings. So we're going to make a bit of space for them, change our angle a bit. And I'm going to send you over to Liam, wow, to Cedric with his line. I'm trying to say Cedric and Lion at the same time, and I'm saying Liam. Sorry, Ced. Enjoy your lion, Ced. Let's go have a look.
Thank you so much, Kelly. I'm happy that you've got Langa that side. And yes, I'm hoping that she's keeping as cool as a cucumber. I'm just joking, Tess. Thank you. But it's a beautiful sighting, this one. I see that the female's got her head up at the moment, but it's difficult to see her. It's just through one of the little bushes that are in front of us here. But the male is still very much lying down and snoozing as much as possible. I'm just hoping that young female will come this side, or that female, and maybe to start eating on this buffalo kill. But yeah, I can understand why those hyenas would stay away. One thing with hyenas, they would avoid an area where there is male lions, because they are not friends at all. So male lions do not like hyenas, and hyenas are afraid of male lions. So that's been the case for many, many times. I've seen that case many, many times over and over, and they would rather just avoid. That's why I think we saw Comet, Cacao, and that unidentified male hyena this morning, and the fourth one. There's 4, but they would not come close to this side where this boy is. He is a big male, and I think he's definitely with a full belly. I'm wondering if he's not going to give that female a bit of an opportunity to come also have her share. We shall see. I think we'll see what happens and what plays out here.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
So it's the weekend, and what better way to spend a day than sat near one of these wonderful waterholes?
So get yourself some snacks and a hat and come and join us for the weekend at Waterhole.
So for the days the 9th and the 10th of July, our teams here at WildEarth from across Southern Africa are going to be spending quality time at a number of waterholes.
We will see you there.
See you there.
JD, he wears his scars really well. Yes, definitely. I think for his, well, I'm not too sure his age, but he's definitely older than your Avoca males. Maybe I think maybe a 10-year-old male is. Maybe he's about 10 years old. And the amount of scars he's got on his face is very minimal. So he's definitely doing very well for himself. Is there something wrong with my lapel? Oh, sorry, Jan has been telling me that there's something wrong here, so that's my mic. But anyway, I think it's all good and well. But yes, JD, he's definitely wearing his scars pretty well. I don't see any major problem with his face, any really heavy battle wounds. Maybe under the right eye, just at the bottom of his right eye. It looks like there's an old scar that Seemed like it might have been quite a nasty scar back in the days, but it's healed very well. Well, as you know, wild animals, they do heal very well. I mean, if you know Tortoise Pan, the male leopard, his face was half ripped off, and now all of a sudden he's looking absolutely beautiful. I still see the scar, but you would think it would be way worse than, yeah. But anyway, let's head over to Pridelands with Chris, and I think he's got a beautiful sunset for everybody.
Yeah, it's been a tricky afternoon, guys. It's seems like the afternoon's sort of like our nemesis at the moment. That's all good, because I've got something to show you. Take a look at that. And it's gonna get better. Just keep watching it. That very high layer of cirrocumulus clouds. That's very high stuff. That's high up in the sky. And that means the sun is very likely going to reflect off that as it goes down. So I'm really hoping that we're going to have the ultimate sunset today. It's going to be epic. Already is. While you enjoy that, so often high clouds like that, cirrocumulus, cirrostratus, often an indicator of changing weather conditions. Either a frontal system moving in, or a mass of cold air possibly coming in the next day or two. And that also explains the warmish weather we had over the last couple of days, excluding the mornings, still cold. But even on the horizon I can see to the south, it's definitely a cold mass, cold air mass coming in. Potential cold front. The nice thing is these makes for spectacular sunsets. Right, we'll hopefully come back a bit later. And the colours are at its best. And let's go over to Lauren, who's got a surprise for you.
I am live. I didn't hear live. However, we do have a surprise for you, and it's maybe not so little. It's actually, in fact, very large. And this was our mission for today, and I'm very happy to say we succeeded with a little bit of help. Ta-da! Another surprise from Amakhala, everyone. We have Papa Ostrich and 3 Babas. Although actually they're not that small. I've seen babies a lot smaller. They're slightly... it's difficult to see when all you can see is a bum. But they're not chicks. They're getting older. I can't see any signs of mom. However, we are looking at dad. And of course, you can tell the difference due to the coloration. It's really easy to identify the sex of ostriches. The males are very, very black. And here we have it. I haven't gone live with an ostrich since, well, the Maasai Mara. And I was hoping our director would be quick because I was worried they would fly away. No, I'm joking. Ostriches do not fly. Rendered completely flightless, bound to the ground terrestrial, which is fascinating within itself. And we talked about secretary birds having long, wonderful model-like legs. Well, look at these guys.
We want to make it even easier for you to interact with our guides whilst watching WildEarth. When you see a QR code like this pop up on your screen, then open your phone camera, point it at the code, and you will be taken directly to our question page. Simple as that. Then you can let us know what you want to see, ask questions, and much more.
I've had it before where I've been walking and the waterbucks jumped out of the grass. It's quite a frightening experience.
WildEarth, it's in your nature.
There we go. Happy family. But predators like lions and leopards, possibly even cheetah, will attack ostriches. Luckily, the cheetah are not in this area, but the lions are. I didn't catch that name. I could only hear someone at FC coughing. But you are saying that it's beautiful how they line up. It's very adorable. Carol. Oh, it's Marcel coughing, Dobby. Can you believe it? Hi, Marcello. Marcello is in FC coughing. I am shocked. We miss you, Marcello. Now stop coughing. Yes, they do line up, and these youngsters will just follow Dad. If you look at Dad, he's absolutely huge. I'm not sure if you can really gauge size from this distance. It is a long-distance visual. However, he really is their protector. And having an ostrich run at you full speed is, it's not something I ever want to experience. They are quite terrifying, at the same time as being beautiful. I'm so happy we got to show you. We tried the other day, but, well, we got a bit lost. But that's okay. That happens in a new area. Richard, you are saying the males must weigh a ton. I'm going to tell you exactly how much. Again, using my bird app. I cannot possibly remember all the weights of all the birds. Oh, sorry, I got really distracted by looking at the Afrikaans name. Okay, between 60 to 80 kilograms for the male and up to 2 meters tall. Sorry if you use feet and pounds, but I am British and I do not. But maybe you're better than I am and you can convert that. So not quite a ton, Richard, but pretty much 60 to 80 kilograms. And that thing running at you with those powerful muscular legs, I can't even begin. So I think Amakhala has won on the birding front today. I'm making that decision. And the views. And I think Juma won on the leopard front. Do we still have visual, Dobby?
Yep.
Did my head just get in the frame?
Nope.
No, okay, that's good. Yeah, they are just lining up. Would you look at that? I'm very, very happy I got to share that with all of you, how special. But the sun is going down, so we must bumble closer to home. But we are going to send you over to Ralph at his waterhole.
Well, yes, it would be getting quite dark there now down on the Eastern Cape. And here up in Mashatu, the sun's just starting to dip down. It's still rather quiet at the waterhole, getting towards sunset. But I bet if we head straight into that sun, we can go to a place in that westerly direction where the sun is still pretty high and where there's a whole lot of elephants in the waterhole. The moment we all be waiting for, here it comes, folks. We're in Okokoyo. Woohoo! Say it with me. Okokoyo, Okokoyo. One of the best waterholes in the world. And just showing why. So, in Namibia, the name Namibia meaning the barren wasteland. I think it's anything but. Okokoyo being the main camp in the Etosha National Park. Etosha meaning the Great White Place. And you can see that rocks in the background, they're very, very white, calcrete rocks. As a result of this entire area was an inland sea. It was fed by the Kunene River in the north. And through tectonic movement, I think they're welcoming us, aren't they?
I still can't believe the amount of oxpeckers on this poor, poor hippopotamus. It's almost more oxpecker than skin at the moment. They do seem to be retreating now, it's heading into the water. Maybe that's what you should have done first there. Wow, they really are. That's an effective method there, hippopotamus. Well done. And oh, they go.
Lawrence, thanks for your comment. Yeah, well, I don't want to compare with any other waterholes, but I have to say this is one of my all-time favorites. Mashatu is still, however, very special, so it's just not comparable in the different areas. They're both very special, but in the desert here, in the dry season, in winter, this is a phenomenal waterhole because there's not much water elsewhere in this area of Etosha. So when it's dry, the animals do really concentrate around this specific waterhole. And wait for later, I know there's going to be a couple of characters that a lot of you might never have seen. And here is one of the biggest populations anywhere in the world of those animals I'm speaking about, and we'll wait for that sun to go down for them to make an appearance. They all come in on this side, very similar to the at Mashatu, where these elephants are facing us. That's where the water is coming out, the fresh water. So they like to drink from there. Right, so here we've got still quite a long time before the sun starts to set. And these elephants, I would imagine, are all going to start moving off. But we've got lots of time. For now, let's head you back to Chris, where the sun is going down.
Our sun is already down, and now we've got that lovely reflection onto those clouds like I mentioned earlier. beautiful, intense orange and golden colors. Beautiful. A bit of blue still in the background and a bit of grey charcoal in the clouds. Almost as if it's changing right in front of us. There's just something about the sunsets here at Brightlands. Every time it gets us there.
We protect and reconnect nature across southern Africa. We bring countries together to care for wild spaces that stretch beyond borders. We protect and restore biodiversity. We prioritize the people living in these landscapes, enabling them to thrive in harmony with nature. We are restoring tomorrow. Good evening, Grace. And Grace just mentions there how much she loves that dramatic clouds, and also complimenting Mpo's great work there. Thank you, Grace. Well, we're just capturing the moment, really. I mean, the real art out there is what you see there, nature itself. And that's what guiding for me is about as well, is creating moments. Creating memories in the bush. And this is probably the most perfect example of such a moment. Just sitting quietly, soaking it up. I hope you're all doing it at home as well. Yeah, like I said earlier, it was a very good day. I'm so happy we found those lions this morning. And I can't wait for tomorrow morning to see what else is going to be out here. Talking about lions, let's go back to Cedric, who's still with his lions.
Making my way towards you on that.
All right, so as you can see, we do have the visual of the one female, so one of the Telemati females. Apparently, this lioness is one of the younger of the breakaway lionesses from the Telemati pride. And also very interesting, thank you very much for all the information on this female, which I am so stoked about, that apparently this female that we see now is actually one of the Salati males that we were talking about earlier, that were pretty much controlling the western sector, and this female is one of the daughters of those males. So that is fantastic, good genes in her. Those males were absolutely amazing, very, very beautiful males. So, yes, very nice to know, and nice to see these lionesses coming through from those coalitions. It's always nice just to kind of see the families, you know, and the family line, and exactly where these males and where the females are coming from. So at least you get a rough idea on their movement, and of course the genetics of the individuals, and it's just really incredible. And I'll just once again, thanks to all the information that I did receive. It was phenomenal. Thank you very much for that.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited Safari Guide training with courses tailored for the African safari lodge industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
Sorry. Lady Pleather, yes, they are doing absolutely well. Just look at the condition of this female. Even the male, they are very, very, in very good condition. I think it's definitely no lack of food, and you can see her tummy is quite round. And there's got a little bit of a bite marks on the bum there. I just want to double check on that. I'm going to get my binocs here quickly. Not much of a rump on the back left there. Just quickly, maybe it's just the hair that's out of place. Oh, no, it's just the fur that's out of place. Sorry about that. I thought she might have had a bite mark there. I want to see what she's going to do. I'm hoping that she's going to go and have a little bit of a feed. It'll be very interesting to see the two of them feeding on that buffalo carcass. It is starting to get dark. The sun has set behind the Drakensberg mountain range. So yes, you can do it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Oh, no. She just caught us off guard there. She fooled us there. Anyway, let's head back to Ralph in Kokokuyo.
Well, folks, we are back at Okokuyo. And Okokuyo means the place where the lady or the woman gives birth every year. That is the name Okokuyo. In Oshivambu, that was the historical story before this was a national park. As these elephants, which I might add, these elephants that you find in Etosha are the largest elephants anywhere in the world. There's a lot of things in Namibia that are the only or the biggest things in the world, but this, for me, is one of the most important. When you speak of elephants that get between or range between 6 and 8 tons, the average elephant ranges in just over 6 tons. However, these elephants in Namibia get up to 8 tons. A big bull with big tusks, they absolutely dwarf some of the elephants that we get in South Africa, Botswana, etc. These are really massive beasts. I want to try and zoom in on this nice big bull that we have in front here, just to give you an idea of the size of their heads. It's just, yeah, these are really special elephants. Don't see too many big tuskers in Etosha either. I think it's a lot, you know, they've got very thick tusks, but they don't get very long. I'm not quite sure or absolutely sure on the reason, but I think it's got a lot to do with mineral deficiencies, for instance. That, you know, I've also been at places in Botswana where they're very brittle.
It's time to put your feet up after a long week. WildEarth invites you to unwind with a weekend at the Waterhole, our life source of the bush, home to so much joy and danger. Join us on the 9th and 10th of July to get your wildlife refill broadcasted to you live all weekend at the Waterhole.
WildEarth's weekend at the Waterhole is going to be epic, and we want to make sure that you are kitted out for the occasion. We've launched some wonderful merchandise just for you. Are you a dam cam lover? Find these and more on our website. So get your snacks ready, put your feet up, and join us for a weekend at the Waterhole.
This is indeed a natural waterhole, but it is supplemented. So this was always, like I've spoken about with a lot of the waterholes, they were natural, and then, you know, they would have dried up seasonally. So they just maintain this one. But yes, it was a natural one, but it is artificially subsidized in that area just in front of this elephant that's shaking his head and doing a bit of a dance for us. That bull, it's obviously there's something between these two. They're having a bit of a conversation. Puma, no, these are not considered to be desert elephants. They are more to the northwest, or actually straight west from here. And that whole western Kaapveld and Damaraland. These elephants on the western boundary, they do sometimes go out of the reserve and they do mix with the desert elephants. And they do produce viable offspring. That's where we get to the point where we say that the desert elephants are not a different species of elephant. They're just better adapted to the environment. But these elephants are huge. They're much bigger than the desert elephants. And this bull here is, yes, as I thought, they were having an altercation. So if you ever get to see the desert elephants, they are beautiful. Just, you know, very, very special. But they have, it's seemingly longer legs and smaller bodies. So it's not that they have longer legs, it just looks like it because their bodies are sort of smaller because they don't eat as much, they don't drink as much, so you know, they're much better adapted. These elephants here, they obviously have good food, they have good water, so they really become huge, massive beasts in comparison to the desert elephants. I wonder what that was all about. He was on his way leaving, and then she had a bit of a tantrum, and he came back. I wonder what is going on. Such intelligent animals, and I wonder what they were discussing. Right, so now that we've got Okokoyo, we've got Mashatu, and we've got Juma, jeepers, I almost don't know where to go. But for now, with this being a new one, I'm going to stick here. And from one big 5 animal to another, off to Cedric.
Yeah, as you can see in the frame, that there is a lion that is lying in the grass, so you can just see there. It's a flat male lion that's actually really passed out, or not just passed out, they were heads up now not too long ago. The female is slowly but surely coming closer and closer towards this kill, and as you can see, she's rolling and roly-poly around here in front of us. Hello, girl. Sorry, my mistake. I think earlier I said that this female was from the Salati males, apparently, or daughter from the Salati males. Apparently, she's the daughter of the Vokers. I think the Vokers. And so I'll just have to double check on all my information this evening on these two. Because, yes, as I said, these two we do not see that often at all. So sometimes you could not get too much information on something that you don't see all the time. But I will go sit down, I'll go get my ducks in a row, go get my frogs in the pond, and I'll make sure that all the information I get is 100% on the two of them.
So it's the weekend, and what better way to spend a day than sat near one of these wonderful waterholes?
So get yourself some snacks and a hat and come and join us for the weekend at a watering hole.
So for the days the 9th and the 10th of July, our teams here at WildEarth from across Southern Africa are going to be spending quality time at a number of waterholes.
We will see you there.
See you there.
Yes, Leslie, definitely it'll be the last thing I'll bet. If I get out here and go rubber belly, yeah, no, look, I don't even think I'll be able to. I won't even be able to get to rubber belly. I think I'll be inside of the belly, not rubbing the belly. So yeah, it's all right, Leslie. I'll kind of, I think I'll just view her from the vehicle, which is nice and safe, and everything is more content in this way. But yes, thanks, Leslie. But it could be very soft, I don't know. I mean, it's the same as leopard bellies, like that white. It is very soft, nice, and like you can, yeah, it's very soft. But yeah, you don't want to do that to a wild lion or a wild leopard. Not a good idea. Another vehicle's just making their way here towards the sighting, so I'm going to see if I can try and work them in here somehow. Yeah, we can just, we're just on the western side of here.
Yeah, copy. I got your visual on the pop in shortly.
Yes, 100% make your way, Mesh. monkey boo-boo. I don't think we actually like semi-habituated. I think we kind of use a term of do we get them more relaxed or comfortable with vehicle presence. And yes, definitely when lion cubs are just under 3 months old, we only really put one vehicle in a sighting with mom being present and only during the daytime. And it gets to about 6 months old, we then put 2 vehicles in a sighting with mom being present only during the daytime as well. Once you get to about 8 months old, you'll put maybe 2 vehicles in a sighting with mom being present, daytime and nighttime. And if nighttime comes, and of course you find lion cubs, and if they're 8 months old, we do not view them at all. But yeah, and then about over a year, then we can start viewing them lion cubs at nighttime and daytime without mom being around and being present. So it's just that kind of, not as I don't like using the term semi-habituating them and all that. I think more kind of getting them used and comfortable seeing these vehicles as a non-aggressive object. And of course, if you stand up and you break the shape of the vehicle, of course, then you're going to see that you're going to get the reaction out of the lions, because all of a sudden they feel threatened, and of course, then you're going to get a reaction out of that. So, but yes, other than that, if you remain on the vehicle, they're very comfortable with the vehicle. So exactly like the leopards. So lions and leopards, that's how we get them comfortable with vehicles. Anyway, while we're going to be sitting here with these 2 lions, let's head back to Ralph while he's on the dam cam in Namibia.
Well, these 2, the big bull and the female, now seems she's run out of patience with him and moved off. We'll just move back a little bit. And then you can see exactly what's happening, and left the bull all on his own. There are still some elephants now making their way down as well. That pathway sort of wraps around the back of the camp. And we start now to also hear the Namakwa sandgrass. Those are the birds calling, Namakwa sandgrass. And you might hear some people there, because there is the wall which is just underneath the camera here, and this is a very visited or very well visited tourist camp. So please don't worry about those voices. I have seen people very rowdy next to this waterhole, and the animals take no notice whatsoever. This waterhole has been here, and the camp has been here since 1955. So they've had a long time to get used to it, and it is also floodlit at night, so we'll be able to see pretty well when we get into the darkness hours. Now, that tree on the left used to have a nest in it of a Verreaux's eagle owl, the old giant eagle owl. I'd be interested to know if there is still one. And he used to come down and drink, well, he and she used to come down and drink every evening. Massive, next to the waterhole. Very cool to watch. Little blip there. I've also seen numerous lion kills here, but I'm not going to put all my stories out all at once. There's lots to talk about here. I think let's just soak it in.
WildEarth have really inspired me to return to South Africa after having followed so many beautiful characters. This Ticket to Dream has given me a great opportunity to meet the WildEarth team, which I thank. They're all amazing. Well, I love all of the characters, but I do have a particular passion for leopards. It's a dream, and as I said before, I just keep on pinching myself. Am I really here?
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
So, but because of the mineral salts and the, high levels of mineral salts here, the water is very salty. So the waterholes that are adjacent to or right next to the pan, some of them are actually too salty for the animals to drink from. This is a little bit off of the pan itself, and so it's still salty. Even in the camp, when you drink water out of the tap, it's very salty. And I always used to give the guests some lemon juice just to change the flavor of the water. It was a bit salty. Nothing wrong with it, just as I say, a little bit salty. Right, so it seems like back in South Africa and Botswana, that sun is dipping really quickly, and it just shows how far west we are here. So before the sun goes down with them down there, let's head on over to Tess.
Oh, Ralph, what a beautiful way to spend your evening at Okukuyu. That is such a productive waterhole, incredibly salty, like you said, but absolutely brilliant for animal life. One of the most not buoyant, what's the word I'm looking for? Incredibly busy waterholes that I've ever seen in my life. So cool. We have got a very different scene on the side. We have left Langa. She disappeared into the drainage line, so we decided to come back to Juma and just enjoy a bit of the golden scenery as the sun is going down. Beautiful orange glow over the horizon. And we are on Central Road at the junction, almost with Nyala Road South. Now what we've been doing is listening to the bird life, because I'm adamant I'm going to find an owl tonight. So let's have a listen. The birds you're listening for are double-banded sandgrouse, pearl-spotted owlet, African barred owlet, and there have been some francolins and spurfowls calling as well. But have a listen to the beautiful dusk chorus. That was the pearl-spotted owlet. There it is again. Jeremy Plains. They are very dreamlike colours. These pastel evening colours and the pastel morning colours are where all of my favourite colours come from, for very obvious reasons. It's just so pretty. For me, it's the little bit of lilac. Just before we get to this point, there's a bit of lilac just above the orange band, and by now it's already disappeared. But that's where my favourite colour came from as a child. African sunsets with a little bit of lilac before the orange glow. Second favorite is the orange glow mixing into red. Of course, this is the time where a lot of animals come to life, where you might hear leopards sawing, or lions roaring, or hyenas whooping in the distance, even a buffalo herd having a bit of a scuffle between a few of its members. So this is the best time for us to be just sitting and listening.
Hi, I am David. I come to you live from the Mara Triangle, all the way from Kenya.
This is not a postcard. This is real sunrise in the beautiful Maasai Mara.
Here on WildEarth, we love it when you interact with our guides while they are live.
In order to do this, you must head over to wildearth.tv/questions and submit your questions, comments, and suggestions.
Simple as that. And to make it even simpler, from time to time, you will see a QR code on your screen. Open your camera phone and scan this code, and it will take you straight to where you need to be. We look forward to answering your questions on this channel.
Of course, BK is blowing our minds tonight with his camera work, using all of the beautiful tall tree silhouettes to frame his shots. Unbelievable. And this light, trees look completely different. The whole scenery does, really, I suppose, the whole landscape. But tall trees can really make or break things. Imagine a leopard silhouette in there. Would be so wonderful. Maybe we'll get lucky and bump into Tlalamba. Big deep breaths of the dusk chorus. In the dusk light, you always just continue breathing it in. But it sounds like Lauren is having a magical time at Amakhala. So I'm going to send you over to her while myself and BK soak in the last rays of orange on the horizon.
Well, we do have the most incredible skies, that's for sure. We actually came down to the wildebeest carcass. Reason being, I was, well, really hoping to see a brown hyena. But the jackals are still on it, and we could hear the lion calling. So he's woken up, but sadly he's not calling anymore. And remember I was telling you about that short documentary. It's called Arthropodium, and it's all about insects, if you like insects, but it's made up of poems and beautiful words. It's not strictly a narration, David Attenborough style, if that makes sense. But you know, I like quotes. And one of the quotes was, "Just living is not enough," said the butterfly. "One must have sunshine, freedom, and a little flower." And I think one must have sunshine, and that includes the sunrise and the sunset. We must force ourselves to enjoy these moments because we forget. We're so wrapped up in life. Life takes over. But I hope you liked that quote. Did you like it, Davi?
I did.
He did. Okay. Did you think it was bro?
Extra bro.
Extra bro. But in all seriousness, it is quite an important quote once you dig a little bit deeper. And it has been a fantastic drive from the Amakhala side, that's for sure. Shailene, you must be South African because you are saying, "Yeah, that is a dramatic skyline." And only South Africans say that. And I now say that too. Yeah, it's great. The now is just, that is just something I just cannot ever deal with. The nows and the now and the now all mean different things. But yo, that's a good one, guys. I'll get my brown hyena one day. Okay, I think that is it from the Amakhala side. So good night to you all from both Davi and I. We shall see you tomorrow. And we are going to send you over to Cedric with his sleepy lion.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Lauren is having a fantastic sunset that side at Amakhala. Beautiful, beautiful Eastern Cape sunset. But yes, let's take a look. She is grooming herself, I'm hoping. But look how fluffy this female's tail is. She's got that black tip on her tail is definitely fluffier than most lions I've seen around. It is almost like a paintbrush, like one of those big paintbrushes. So she's really got a proper size black tip. So yeah, definitely one of the ways we can one day start identifying her and IDing her is by that beautiful black tip on that tail. But I'm hoping that she's now going to be finishing, she's going to finish off grooming herself, maybe a couple of good old yawns, and then maybe she'll head off to the kill and go and, oh, there we go. Maybe she should come on, let's see what she's going to do. Let's see what she's going to do.
The Maasai Mara in Kenya, a remote landscape where wilderness reigns. Its inspirational beauty captivates the hearts of many around the world. This year, from August, WildEarth is leading a number of unique expeditions to follow Africa's greatest wildebeest migration here in the Maasai Mara. And now, the remaining places have been discounted by 20%. Head over to our website to find out.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited safari guide training with courses tailored for the African safari lodge industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
Hello, my boy.
Is the vehicle to the west of me with the lion?
Randy Mango. Yes, definitely. I'm hoping that she takes care of herself. I think she's looking good, honestly. I think she's got her tail is beautiful, her face is beautiful, her body is really well looked after. So definitely I think she is in top nick. So yeah, no wonder this male, S8 male, has fallen for this female. She's in top nick. But clearly he's just passed out. He's not really too bothered about much at this point in time, and yeah, I'm just hoping it is getting dark now. I was really hoping that we're going to get a little bit more action out of them once the sun does set, but it looks like they are both passed out. So maybe it could be due to all the copulation that's been happening over the last couple of days, and I think maybe they're both tired out. So I'm not too sure the history in the last, say, week with these two lions on why they're so tired. Could be because of the copulation. But anyway, we shall see. I'm hoping that we will get some action sooner or later. Anyway, while we're going to continue sitting with these two lions while they are still sleeping, let's head back to Ralph and see how it's going with these elephants in Namibia.
And just like that, the elephants were gone. quiet waterhole once again. The sun's slowly starting to dip towards the horizon, but you can see with us being so far west here that it is still reasonably high in the sky compared to Mashatu as well as in Juma, where it's pretty much dark there already. Going back west. Yeah, so we've got the appointments with the guinea fowl in the morning at Mashatu, and I'm going to hopefully show you our evening appointment with our very special characters at the Okakuyu Waterhole if they come on time before the end of the show. If we don't see them this evening, we'll definitely see them in the darkness hours in tomorrow morning's drive. Because just like it gets dark later, it will also get light later in the morning. So the sun will have come up in Juma, where it will still be dark here in Etosha. There are a couple lion prides that exist in this particular area. So there's one from the north and one from the south. So we could have any one of those coming to drink. Etosha has the big four. They don't have buffalo because there's not enough water or permanent water for the buffalo. You find the buffalo in the Caprivi, where you have the Zambezi, but not here in Etosha. So massive herds of elephant. There's over 200 lions. There is good numbers of leopard. And we have the real big five rhino, the black rhino. White rhino, for a purist, is not part of the big five.
It's time to put your feet up after a long week. WildEarth invites you to unwind with a weekend at the Waterhole, our life source of the bush, home to so much joy and danger. Join us on the 9th and 10th of July to get your wildlife refill broadcasted to you live all weekend at the Waterhole.
WildEarth's weekend at the Waterhole is going to be epic, and we want to make sure that you are kitted out for the occasion. We've launched some wonderful merchandise just for you. Are you a dam cam lover? Find these and more on our website. So get your snacks ready, put your feet up, and join us for a weekend at the Waterhole.
Yarrow, the minerals, yes, well, indirectly so, because the geomorphology of the minerals there would affect the nutrition in the soil for the plants, and then you get particular species that grow that are nutritious for the animals. But it does also create areas where the animals can go and literally perform geophagia, where they eat the soil. And so this area surrounding the Etosha Pan is extremely nutritive. The area in Etosha Pan itself it has so many nutrients that it's excessive, that it's toxic. So there's only 2 species of grass that can grow on the pan itself, but it's very, very little. And that pan now stretches, it's 60 kilometers north to south, 120 kilometers east to west of just an unending, barren salt pan. It's absolutely beautiful to go out there. The animals, sometimes you do see them going out there, and I think they find it quite almost safe because they can see in every single direction, but there's nothing there for them to feed on. There has been records of elephants crossing the pan from north to south, not from east to west, north to south. But yeah, otherwise there's too many mineral salts, so it makes it toxic. But on the fringes, the balance is correct, and it makes it very nutritive for the plants, which then grow and are very nutritious for the animals. So it supports a wide array of wildlife on the fringes of the pan. Hence why this reserve was proclaimed, because of the sheer numbers of animals that were found here. Sometimes there's big rains and there's sections of the park, of the pan, that do fill up, and then you have even flamingos coming to nest in the pan where the water is sitting at about a foot deep. They make nests out of the mud and they nest there. There was a tragedy about 10 years ago where all the flamingos arrived, but there wasn't just enough rain. They built all of their nests, and they dried up very quickly. And so the adults left the babies stuck in the mud. It was a very disastrous period for the birds, but very sad. Anyway, the adults survived. So, yeah, on that happy note, let's send you on over to Cedric.
Yeah, no, that is very sad about those flamingos, but it's also very sad that these two lions are still sleeping. So there's a lot of sad news. There's news going around. No, so these lions are very content with life. I think they know it's like, well, we shall feed later on. We shall feed when we want to feed. And I know they've got a nice young buffalo that they've taken down early this morning, and I think thanks, and I'm sure they are going to be staying here for the night. I'm hoping by tomorrow morning it will be still a little bit of food left. What I saw now, there was quite a bit of meat left on that buffalo. So, and their tummies are full already, so I think tomorrow morning they might still be on this kill. So we'll definitely make a plan of action and coming into this area to see if they are still around. So there is a vehicle or two that's just arrived, or just actually leaving. So, and let's see what they can do. Of course, there is going to be a spotlight from one of the vehicles. They are spotlighting, they do spotlight the lines. We've got the lucky infrared. Joyce, I think he is really much so. That's why the female hasn't come through yet. I think he's very close to the kill. The kill is about 3 meters from his face, so the kill is very close to him. And so the female, every time she gets up and starts moving towards the kill, towards him, his head is up and he stares at her, and then she goes and lies down, more like in a submissive way. So I think this male is definitely, like as you think he's not, but I think he's definitely got his eye on that kill. Nothing will get to that kill at this point in time. It's so close to him. I think he'll just wake up and like one leap, he'll be on top of that kill. So yes. But it is that when did we have that herd of buffalo coming through here? Was it last night? It was last night. It was last night on Philemon's Cutline, yeah. Yeah, it was last night we had that herd of buffalo that came through here, so we must have just missed this whole thing.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
So it's the weekend, and what better way to spend a day than sat near one of these wonderful waterholes?
So get yourself some snacks and a hat and come and join us for the weekend at Waterhole.
So for the days the 9th and the 10th of July, our teams here at WildEarth from across Southern Africa are going to be spending quality time at a number of waterholes.
We will see you there.
See you there.
Ratio, no, not to clean themselves, maybe to cross rivers. I've actually got a video of hairy belly, the Matumba male lion, not too far, like south from where we are now, in a property called Hoffman's. And what happened there is that a crocodile killed a kudu in a little pan, not big. I mean, it was talking about maybe as big as, let's get a size here quickly. I think half of Treehouse Dam. So it's not big at all, half of Treehouse Dam. And that kudu was floating around in that water, and I saw Hairy Belly, and Ginger was with him as well at that time, but just Hairy Belly walked in. He'd actually not walked, he dived into the dam and to drag that carcass out of the water. And he went right, his entire body was submerged under the water to try and grab that kudu in a right way to actually drag it out. But he couldn't get it right, and he came out and he looked like a drowned rat. His mane was flopped, like, you know, when his mane was all down, like, you know, when it's wet, and it was all hanging down. It looked like Sher, you know, that singer Sher, with the hair all straight down. He looked like Sher, but in a male lion form. And we laughed. I cracked myself up so much on that at that moment. And but what happened is, all of a sudden he shook his head, of course, like dogs, you know, when they shake when they just got out of the bath or something. He shook his head like that, and of course that mane just popped out like a pom-pom, boom, like back to normal. It was absolutely fantastic. It was brilliant sighting. So, not that he wanted to clean himself, he just wanted to drag that kudu carcass out of the water. And of course lions just are walking through the water, through the rivers, trying to get from one side to the other. So they're not, I've seen hyenas like taking a bath and cooling down in water. Lions not so much as hyenas. So yeah, I think lions are a little bit more kind of tentative on putting and soaking the entire body into a river or dam. But it was funny. It was actually, I'm trying to post that video. That was 2016. That was just before the Birminghams actually came in to the area, the Birmingham Coalition, and took over this area and pushed Ginger and Hairy Belly southwest into Singita, Londolozi, Singita, all the way into the western sector. Yeah, well, while we sit with these two sleeping lions, let's head over to Ralph, as he doesn't have any soaked lions in the water.
Yeah, well, there might be some lions coming for a drink a little bit later, but for now, it's a little bit quiet at the Waterhole, but sort of goes through these periods, you know. You saw earlier it was full up with elephants. They had their play, they had their spray, and they had their drink, and off they went. So who's going to be next? Earlier in the day, it was full up with oryx, or as we say, gemsbok. There was zebra, there were impala, black-faced impala, I must add. Here in Etosha, you get black-faced impala, not your average impala. So it's going to be nice to show you those. There were a lot of springbok and ostrich too. And the doves continuously flying in and out there. Now at this Okukuyo camp, there is a tower which you can go up and have a beautiful view of the area. There's 3 camps inside Etosha itself. This is one, Okukuyo. Then halfway or 60 kilometers east of here is Halali, and 60 kilometers east of there is Namutoni. So the 3 main camps. And halali is named after, I don't know if you guys, anybody knows the instrument that was used for starting the hunt. It's like a bugle, but it goes round in circles. It's a little circular bugle, and they used to on the horsebacks with all the dogs, and it was the signal for the start of the hunt. Now, they called the place halali, and that same bugle that they used to use, but all the halali, so the instrument isn't called halali, it's the actual sound that they make, that so they called the place that, but they used it as an indication of when they stopped the hunting. So no more hunting in Etosha, and so then they commemorated the stopping of the hunting by calling it halali. So quite nice there. And then Namutoni was the fort that was built by the Germans. That was between wars between the Herero people that are in the area and the Germans at the time. So, and the fort still remains there.
We want to make it even easier for you to interact with our guides whilst watching WildEarth. When you see a QR code like this pop up on your screen, then open your phone camera, point it at the code, and you will be taken directly to our question page. Simple as that. Then you can let us know what you want to see, ask questions, and much more.
I've had it before where I've been walking and a waterbuck's jumped out of the grass. It's quite a frightening experience.
WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Yes, so what's going to be our first impressive animal after the elephants to come down and drink? No wonder. I do just want to scan a little bit on the opposite bank. This is where I've seen jackals hunting doves and guinea fowl in between these concrete rocks. In the middle of the day, they stalk them between those rocks there, and you can see they're massive, those concrete rocks. So there is enough place for them to hide. A little jackal. We just scan across. The doves coming in to drink. Now, Terence, luckily the camera pole is sort of on the other side of the wall, so it's quite well protected, and there is like a fence that goes diagonally from the wall down. Now, previously they didn't have that sort of fence or wire going diagonally down from the wall. It was just a wall, but then there was quite a tragic occurrence where at the time you could still, like now, you can still go and sit next to the waterhole all night, doesn't matter, but at the time they didn't have that diagonal fence, and there was a German man that was sleeping on the bench next to the waterhole, and he got taken by a lion, unfortunately. So that was when they decided to obviously put up extra protection, and so that the animals can't actually get next to the wall. It's not the only time that I've heard of animals in the camp, though, but other times it wasn't so tragic. That was one they obviously had to make a big change, and they changed the security there. But at the halali camp, I was actually there where the elephants, they got mad with the lions next to the waterhole, because elephants really don't like lions. So they got to the waterhole and there were lions there, a whole pride of them drinking. And they chased the lions, and the lions jumped up into over the wall at the waterhole viewpoint. They jumped up in there and into camp, and there were people running around like headless chickens. It was just chaos. So the lions were in camp. The elephants had chased in there. It wasn't as if they wanted to go in there, but they were just getting away from the elephants. Anyway, eventually the lions found their own way out before the rangers arrived with weapons to protect the people that were in the park. But yeah, so all's well that ends well. The lions left on their own. But there was another story of lions in camp. So yes, you always need to be careful, even if you have a fence. Nathan, I agree with you. There is not a breath of wind. The water looks like a mirror, and it's quite similar to that of Mashatu. And what I like looking at, if you look there in the background, you can see all those game paths, ancient game paths that are making their way down towards the water here. Something that always reminds or sits well with me about Namibia is that because it is such an arid area, humans have populated more green, sort of tropical, more lush, more nutritious areas, and mainly along the east of Africa. So right up to the central, even Okavango, you see people all congregating around those very productive areas, whereas the desert areas have never been populated by humans. Yes, now they're slowly starting to in some places, but these areas of Namibia have never been populated by humans. So this is wilderness that has always been wilderness. It hasn't been rehabilitated, it hasn't, been habitated, and then we've taken it back to wildlife. It's always been like this, and that's something really special for me. Yeah. Not to say that those other places aren't special, it's just that this is like, it's really virgin wilderness. It's stunning. What's that little bird there? I wonder if that's a little dab chick. Righty, so as we sit here and wait for potentially some very special animals to come down, I'm going to send you on over to Tessa, who's got your normal impala.
It really is such a brilliant landscape. And the word I was looking for earlier was productive, not buoyant. My goodness. I had a total brain blank, but I figured it out. So we are on a bumble. We are now at Sandy Patch, on Sandy Patch North. And I actually spotted a white-tailed mongoose. That was why I stopped. But there is a wealth of wildlife up here. We've got a massive herd of impalas that stretches all the way from the burnt section down to Vuyatela access and even onto Impala Road. There's also some wildebeest, but they're a little bit far, so we can't really get those with the infrared light. And then, of course, some scrub hares, which have been bouncing in and out, and then the white-tailed mongoose, which was really what caught my attention. But it seems to have moved behind the quarry, and we can't seem to see it again.
I still can't believe the amount of oxpeckers on this poor hippopotamus. It's almost more oxpecker than skin at the moment. They do seem to be retreating now, it's heading into the water. Maybe that's what you should have done first there. Wow, they really are. That was an effective method there, hippopotamus. Well done. And oh, they go.
I think I'm actually hearing lions, BK. but far north. Coming from Buffelshoek somewhere, I can hear some lions in the distance while we're watching all of these grooming and settling impalas. I'm wondering if it's not some of the members that usually hang out with S8 and the lioness that Cedric had. But you can see from the movement of those eyes in the background, that repetitive movement, it looks like a bit of a twirling motion. It's what's happening when the impalas are grooming, because the head is moving. So all of them seem to be grooming. Monique, no, I wouldn't think a white-tailed mongoose is the rarest species of all of the mongooses. To me, actually, I wouldn't know which one is the rarest. For this area, yes, it would be the rarest for this particular area. But in South Africa in general, I don't know which one would be the rarest. But I don't think it would be a white-tailed mongoose, because you do see quite a bit of them in KwaZulu-Natal and places like that. So there you would probably see that before you saw a slender mongoose, for example. But here we see more dwarf mongoose, banded mongoose, and slender mongoose than we see white-tailed mongoose. Doesn't mean they're not here, we just don't see them as much. But I'd have to get back to you if there is one that is a lot rarer than the others. In my mind, there are bells going off saying absolutely there's one that is a lot rarer than the others. But for whatever reason, I don't think it is the white-tailed mongoose, but I'll have to check for you. Thank you for testing my memory skills. It's always good when these moments happen. These impalas are getting so playful. It's all the youngish ones. You can see the size difference from those two. 4 now, compared to this big female on the right that's got a bit of a big belly. So all of the youngsters seem to be having quite the go at each other. And it's just a play fight, so it's just how they're learning to kind of handle themselves. But it is quite interesting to see how they do that hopping motion. So that hopping forwards is their way of kind of pushing and showing strength, pushing the boundary, and then apparently bolting away. It's always fun to watch impalas when they get playful. So early mornings when it's warm enough, it's just kind of warmed up, and then late evenings, impalas tend to come alive.
We protect and reconnect nature across southern Africa. We bring countries together to care for wild spaces that stretch beyond borders. We protect and restore biodiversity. We prioritize the people living in these landscapes, enabling them to thrive in harmony with nature. We are restoring tomorrow.
So you can see they've all kind of frozen a little bit now. They must have heard a noise that they weren't quite happy with, because they've kind of spread out a bit. They're not playing at all anymore. They're not feeding. They're not grooming. They're frozen still and listening. But I don't know what it's for. Chase, I agree with you. I don't think that it's the lion calls that they're really bothered by. They're probably more nervous of the fact that in between doing their gymnastics, they might get snuck up on by someone like Tavangumi. So I think that's more the concern. We've got some yoga impalas here tonight. It's always so entertaining. One of the most underrated antelopes in the world, if not the most underrated, is the impala. They are so entertaining. Unreal, but you can imagine in the dark like this, you know, everything is a bit on edge. We do have a little bit of moonlight tonight, but not enough that the impalas will feel totally safe. But speaking of moonlight, the dark, and how it affects all of these lovely, gorgeous impalas, it sounds like Rolf's sun is never ever going to set at Okukuyu. Let's go have a look at the daylight he's still experiencing.
Well, it does really feel like the sun never sets in Namibia, especially in Etosha. I'm just scanning because I'm looking for some particular characters that I think are going to be waking up now and starting to make their way down towards the Waterhole. I think a little bit earlier I might have heard some lions calling. Maybe mistaken, but there's some guinea fowl that are also just working their way through the calcrete rocks. It's just such an impressive landscape, this. And because of this calcrete as well, you'll see a lot when we have a look at the elephants, they look very white. That's where they've almost been given the name the ghost elephants, because different places, different soils, and then the elephants have different colors as a result. But here in Etosha, they've got a white color to them because of this white soil.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited safari guide training with courses tailored for the African safari larger industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
Just waiting to see. I'm sure there's some lions on their way, and obviously in this kind of landscape they can be seen from pretty far off, so it can still take them a while. Granda, yes, the desert colors, it's something else. It just really, and you're going to see as that sun starts setting, it just really makes for beautiful, beautiful sunsets. And it's funny also in Etosha, it's one of the places in the world where I've seen the sunrise, and the sun has been the biggest that I've ever seen anywhere in the world. I don't know if you understand what I mean. But when you know, sometimes the sky seems closer, like in the south of Namibia, in the desert, the stars almost feel like you can grab them out the sky. They feel that close because there's no pollution. The air is so clean, being in the desert, and really there's no light pollution to make it, distort the colors. Yeah, it's just really special. And in Etosha, seeing the sun so big, it's something that it always stuck with me. And very often the black rhino, they come from that area on the right. And they come down from there. There's rhino that do come down from there. So So I must say that Namibia has the largest population of black rhino anywhere in the world. So if we don't see them now, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see them tomorrow morning before the sun comes up on the morning drive. So we can always count on that. Now, what a day it's been. A day for new things. And yeah, we always have to say thanks to the viewers. Thanks for joining us and making things possible. Thanks to the wildlife for putting on the show that we can narrate and show to you guys. And obviously, thanks to all the naturalists that are out there doing their thing on the vehicles, and the tech guys, everybody in MC, the camera operators. It's just a big team that's coming together here, just trying to show or exhibit the wildlife that we have. Now, folks, we'll see you all tomorrow again. Have a good evening. Cheers for now. I'm Ralph Kirsten, and I'm out.
More kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.